nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission. If we wish to make it louder, we will bring up the volume. If we wish to make it softer, we will tune it to a whisper. We will control the horizontal. We will control the vertical. We can roll the image, make it flutter. We can change the focus to a soft blur, or sharpen it to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit quietly and we will control all that you see and hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your television set. You are about to participate in a great adventure. You are about to experience the awe and mystery which reaches from the inner mind to 420.
Uostarosta.
Huh.
Uostarosta.
What's he doing? That's odd.
Busta. Busta.
I'm sure I can fix it. I think.
Wait.
Yo, I don't even care if you lit or you high. Airplanes are literally littering in the sky. While you're twittering the little kids in the video live. We spending these ends with the pyramid. I'm fucking serious. This is no time to question me, period. Now I'm furious, about to redo this chick's interior. If I appear to her as inferior, then she's delirious and not a period. Just throw them hands in the air and wave them shit high. If you're on my team, if you're on my team, then scream. Just scream real loud, throw your hands up in the air. If you're on my team, I used to see anticipation driven from your freaking face, written in 15 different languages. It was amazing, kid. Nowadays the shit looks like it's missing its radiance. It's all been erased and stripped from our relationship. Your face is sick, like I just made you lick a contagion, growing impatient. Your days eclipsed by an alien. The way your skin smelled way back then, I'm inhaling, now I'm flailing like the assailant that you impaled in. Now I'm exhaling. Next I guess I'll just check the tail end of the failed friendship we had way back, like a whale fin. And now the elephants in the room, and they pale in comparison to the pain I'm sharing, and it's embarrassing. About to get the kerosene and burn up everything we shared, and then up in flames. This is not a fucking game. Yo, there it went. It's embarrassing, but yo, I don't even care if you lit or you high. Airplanes are literally littering in the sky. While you're twittering the little kids in the video live. We spending these ends with the pyramid. I'm fucking serious. This is no time to question me, period. Now I'm furious, about to redo this chick's interior. If I appear to her as inferior, then she's delirious and not a period. Just throw them hands in the air and wave them if you're on my team. If you're on my team, then scream. Just scream real loud. If you're on my team, then scream. Just scream real loud.
There is a fifth dimension, beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, between science and superstition, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the mud zone.
The world is flat. I'm here to ring the alarm with my puppet-like charm, straight from the barn. I'm talking about Flat Earth Farms, cause most don't know. They think we live on a globe, a ball that floats. So listen and take notes, and take it to a higher plane. Imagine yourself in all it contains, in all its glory, and Flat Earth Farms can take you there. Open your mind outside the box. No more staring at NASA's Photoshop. No more moon landings, no line to ya. No more people standing backwards in Australia. Just facts and pure truth, planning straight to the roots. Flat Earth Farms help you understand. A magical place on a wondrous land.
The world is flat, and that's a fact. Tell your friends next time you chat. Let them know a ball ain't that. Let's stay playing with the baseball bat. Cause we coming at the barn, a higher place, the Flat Earth Farms.
I see a sun that isn't rising. I see it as it goes away. I see a Flat Earth Farms rising. I see a stage and everything. The world don't spin around tonight. Don't you make it feel alright in the Flat Earth Farms rising. I hear things have been growing. I know I'm growing slowly. The tractor, hear the roots is growing. Sun comes back, it's shining down on through. Yeah, the world don't turn around tonight. That's messing with your mind. It's the Flat Earth Farms rising. Don't turn around now. Messing with your mind. It's the Flat Earth Farms rising. Hope you got your facts together. Hope your presidents are all in line. Looks like they're all in this together. So are we, the truth is on our side. We don't spin around at night. Close your eyes, it's the Flat Earth Farms rising. No, it's not spinning out of sight. Never when you fly, it's the Flat Earth Farms rising.
This could be it, Harry. Pass the word along. Tell the men it's time to shoot the moon. Shoot the moon!
What are we gonna do tonight, Singe Man?
The same thing we do every night, Boston Ray. Try to take over the world.
The world of science cares about you. Eureka! We found it. With the tools of science, we have invented Yes, hand sanitizer. But not just any hand sanitizer. This hand sanitizer was developed and approved by the Dark One himself. Here are a few of the things our product can bring you.
You slept. Warning, the self-destruct system has been activated. Option to override self-destruct expires in 10 minutes.
See, here is the sea, Mr. Sanders.
We are live. Well, Cinchman's here too. Well, Plasma Moon, yeah. We're gonna get into him. I'm foreshadowing. I'm foreshadowing.
Yeah, they have right.
Carol Davis, Anson Howard, Zulu One.
What's the word of the week?
Hey, Cinch, do me a favor. I got a tinkle. Will you please give them a shout out, dude? Dude. These intros are like too long, dude. I can't even deal with this. I'll be right back.
I know it's like okay. So we hope you enjoyed that movie, and the word of the week is, or the phrase of the week is, word of the week, foreshadowing, because that's the new word that Ray learned this week.
Foreshadowing. Is that gonna have to do anything with the moon shadow?
Well, all I know is that Ray doesn't use GPS. He uses a moon map. Or if he goes to like 7-Eleven, the corner store, he utilizes the moon map almost all the time to get everywhere. And then I got a couple more jokes on it. Let's see if I can remember. I'm on a roll. Okay, so moon map. Oh yeah. So to shoot the moon. No, I don't know anything about it. Seriously. I have done nothing. I've looked at it a couple of times and went, huh.
All right.
Well, from what I gathered,
hold on, I gotta top myself up.
New theory. I'm like, Well, at one point I thought UFOs were fake, and then I saw UFOs. So pretty much anything's on the table since that day, 2012, when I saw UFOs come out of the 3 stars of Orion's belt in Colorado. They appeared to come out of the stars, and then I was like, what the meteorite? Oh, neat. Oh, 2 meteorites. Oh, 3 meteorites that are going across the sky and turning perfectly in the same direction. So after that, I went to town and talked to people, and they're like, oh yeah, we see that all the time. You're not crazy. We see that all the time. So I was like, you know what? Everything's on the table now. Then a couple of years later, I got flat, and then I got Mandela, and then I got everything's faked, and then I got Tartarian, and then I got mudded, and then I got now mooned.
Well, let's do this real quick before we start off with the moon map stuff.
Oh yeah, wait. There's one more thing I have to say. If you see a troll say something, and if you're listening to this, you are the resistance. And this is Sparta, or what's left of it. There you go.
Nice. Okay, so Tommy Tell the Truth is still in jail. Boom, and we're still raising money for Tommy Tell the Truth. So
what's the total?
Oh yeah, let's see. And the grand total is 1,419. So we're almost at 1,420 for Tommy.
All right. You'll love that. You hear that number.
So yeah, that's why I'm late tonight, because we're trying to get Tommy out, and we're trying to figure out what's going on. And here's the link for his GoFundMe. So let me say, this is an amazing thing that the community is doing. Like for coming together like this. Like, look, let's see all the people that are here. Melanie Moran, $50. Look, boom. Anthony Santosuso, Linda Locken, Tracy Tyson, Brian Ebersol, anonymous people, $33. Joyce.
Great. I'm gonna duck out. I'll be right back in 10 minutes.
No problem. Let me read off these names. Joyce Betchel, Shane Rafferty. These are all people that believe in Tommy and donated, and like, we got to get them out. They believe in the cause. Anonymous, Jesse Radaski, David Kassler, Valley Parks, Dorothy Cohen. A lot of anonymous. 4 Jacks, David Cupidlowski, Joe and Faye. What up, Joe and Faye? David McDonald, Guy Hankins, Jared Jaguar, Walton Johnson, Richard Kohler, Run Boston Bear, Amanda McLeod, Anthony Bergs, Gina Hack, all these people, David Beverly, that's Jesus Freak, Craig Schaefer, Jim Metcalf, Jonathan Trimmer, Elizabeth Marlowe, Tommy Fender, Daryl Davis. I'm going to be donating. Since me and Singeman are donating, and when we get our YouTube checks, we're giving it to Tommy. Jennifer Prentons, Marianne D'Souza, India Holistic Media, Anonymous, Jason Valencia, Cassandra Johnson, Joe Martinez, Nathan Sanders. If I didn't say your name and you donated, it's because it's not showing up yet. It's not showing up yet. Also, someone was saying they were having trouble putting their credit card through, and it was like kicking them out. So I hope that isn't happening to a lot of people. So we find out that they're giving us shit about the bill though, which kind of sucks because like I'm gonna let you guys know straight up because like people are invested in this obviously. All right. So when I first called the jail, they said that the bill was $20,000. Right? That's his bill. His bill is set at $20,000, dude. It's not set at $2,000. It's set at 20. So in most cases, they let you get out for 10%, like $2,000, somewhere around there. It's up to the bail bondsman. So I called back the other day. We had no communication with people, and they said probably, most likely, they can't be definite. The people at the jail said, people that work there said, we can't be 100%. Chances are, yeah, they'll do, 10%. But come to find out today, we talked to Tommy's friend, Chris. And he said that they want between 12 and 14,000 to get him out. That's what they want. So it's great that everybody's been donating because he's going to need the money to get out and, in the end for lawyers and everything else. But it's going to take a lot more than that. And it kind of sucks. Hopefully, when he goes to court, they lower his bail and we'll have enough by then. I don't know, but I don't even know if that's 100%. That's a story that we got from Chris, who's Tommy's friend. We just got to pray. Let's everybody pray for Tommy, that he gets his bail lowered, or they let him out, or they send him back to Florida or something. And if you have money to throw in that you can help him out, he also crashed a $20,000 vehicle that wasn't his. So he's going to have to pay for that too. Bad things happen to good people all the time. Tommy is one of the best people, and he was just in a bad place, dude, bad time zone. All right, we'll move on. Okay. So tonight I want to get into the moon map. All right. Now, the reason why I'm like so passionate about this moon map and why it really resonates with me is, are you there, Singe? You're quiet tonight. You all right? The silence is strange. I thought you would have cut me off at least a few times by now. Are you muted? Can you talk? I can't hear you. It's killing me. Silence. Yeah, boy, it's terrible. So he looks like he's like listening to something, or Singe Man. Look at him. I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. Oh, nice. I knew he was doing that. I knew what he was doing. I know what's going on my own show. Okay. So the moon map. A lot of people are like, oh, the moon map's bullshit. Oh, fuck you. Hey. Okay. So I've seen people try to debunk the moon map.
I'm just kicking out the jams over here.
I've seen people failed attempt at debunking the moon map. Okay. I've seen people.
You know what? Yeah. Kick out the debunking. Kick it out, man. We want here. Kick out the debunking, brothers and sisters.
I've seen people actually say.
That's what you want to hear from me?
No. Can I talk? I've seen people actually show the moon map, like the moon, a picture that they took themselves with a P1000 or a P900 micro zoom lens, 950 camera, right? Nikon. Okay. And then that's pretty up close to the moon. That's a good picture of the moon. I'm not saying that's not a good picture of the moon, right? And I've seen them, take it, and they would take like the continents and try to paste it on the moon and be like, oh, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. Like, okay. The problem with that is, ding, dun, dun. Listen, Singe, cut that out for now. I'm trying to think. Okay.
Oh, I thought I was muted. Sorry.
The telescopic view of the moon. Okay. Telescopic view of the moon. Okay. So, telescopic. Now look at this one. Telescopic appearance of the moon. What? There's a telescopic appearance of the moon? Telescopic view of the moon? Is that the same as a Nikon P100? P1000? Singe, what do you think? You there? No? Not there?
Yeah, it takes me a minute to stop.
What do you think about the difference between a telescopic image and an image you took from a picture, like a Nikon? Is it the same?
Telescope. No,
Earth's history was confusing. You probably know this. Is a telescopic image, telescopic appearance of the moon the same as a Nikon P1000? Would that be considered a telescopic image? All right, let's Google this.
A small telescope?
I hope
it'd be the same. A large telescope, higher.
Is it a telescopic projection? I'm going to Google it.
The camera would look better than my telescope.
I'm going to DuckDuckGo it. I don't use Google. I'm boycotting Google. They own too much.
Are we talking telescopes or telescopic images that using a telescope?
I'm asking you, dude. All right, let me see. Don't ask me. I'm not teaching anything. All right, let me see.
He isn't now. He isn't.
I know. I just want to make sure I'm accurate.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Hear that one?
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
It is. I mean, we're the only ones that have our own MIDI keyboard on our show. Okay.
Working on it. We're making a nice beat.
How to see the moon with a telescope. Okay.
See? I made that, then I'm going to go.
Hold on.
I think it's the right beat.
What is it?
Right sound.
Oh, okay.
Let's try it. Ready? Try it.
So yeah, a telescopic image of the moon is basically like an image from a telescope.
Aha! So I'm correct. So if you have a small telescope, then the better camera.
Yeah.
Where you're talking a good telescopic image.
But
nice.
But they call P1000, P900 Nikon. They call them micro zoom. Is that the same as
it's
a
like
telescope?
a mini telescope. It is like a telescope, like a better than average telescope, not like a cheap one like I have. Although it might be about the same as I have, but better.
So, and another thing is okay. The moon map is supposedly a plasma that froze within like a long time ago, and it was during the time when Atlantis and all those other lands, the extra lands, were above the sea level, above the water, and now they're underwater. So here we go. Thank you. Telescope versus astrophotography. You are currently reviewing telescope versus camera lens. All right. So it's different. Okay. So that's all thank you, Ella. So yeah,
So it goes by millimeters. 1,000
so also
millimeters.
Also
Less than
though, the person that I seen debunking the moon map was using the land masses from like the regular map, like the globe, right? And they used these extra land masses on the moon map, and they got those from the Gleason map. And they got the shapes of the land from the AE map and like the Gleason map. They didn't use the shape of the lands from the real globe. So like you can't just take a picture of a Nikon P1000 and layer some like the regular landmass shapes over the moon and say, oh, it doesn't fit. And another thing, it's a mirror image. So that means it's upside down. So you have to take your photo of the moon and flip it upside down also for it to fit. And these people used like a really high-tech computer program to overlay it. And it's not like they just like looked at it and was like, oh, that fits there. Stick this up your ass and to the left. You know what I mean? All right, let me show you something. This is going to cover it real quick. Like he explains it really well on this. So we're gonna get through it. We're gonna go deep.
Midway upon the journey of our life,
we're gonna cover
I found myself within a forest dark, for the straightforward path had been lost.
We'll get through it together.
And during my journey,
don't worry, you'll make it.
As I made my way through the tangled labyrinthine paths of deception, looking for the center of truth, I met a brilliant woman who taught me many a flat fact. But out of all of her flat facts, it was one fact that struck a chord. She showed me the maps of old and asked me to find the key anomaly, the one error that all maps contained. I pointed to the varying representations of unknown land masses, to Hyperborea. She shook her head. No, find the glitch. We live on a flat plane. Our world is an electromagnetic terrarium, surrounded by an ethereal sea of water.
100%.
And like all terrariums, after initial creation, they begin to form their own self-sustaining atmosphere. The sun and the moon journey above our flat realm in concentric spirals. There are 5 prominent circles of latitude, we are told. We have the Arctic Circle, closest to the center. The Tropic of Cancer at 23.5 degrees latitude in the northern hemisphere. The Equator at 0 degree latitude. The Tropic of Capricorn at 23.5 degrees latitude in the southern hemisphere. And the Antarctic Circle.
Okay, hold on one second. I want to read this because she did work for me. A telescope is very similar to a camera lens. The telescope has a fixed focal ratio, and with a few exceptions, it ranges from f4 to f15. Camera lenses have a focal ratio from less than f2 to more than f32. Okay, so what does that mean? It ranges from f4 to f15. Telescope has a fixed focal ratio, so the lens is a different focal ratio. Okay. The image quality for astrophotography is better with a telescope than with a camera lens. Also, you can get more accurate. Okay, so that's why you can see the land masses with a telescope and not a camera, because it's better quality with a telescope than with the camera, no matter what. Nikon is not a camera. I mean, it's not a telescope. A Nikon is not a telescope. Correction. A Nikon is not a telescope.
I call it a telescope computer / camera.
It's kind of like your cell phone. Like you said, Singe, your cell phone isn't a video camera. Like people use it to record videos. It's not a cell phone. It's not a cell phone. What the fuck is it? It's not a phone. It's not a camera or a phone.
It's not a computer either. What is it?
Same idea, guys. Same idea. Hold on. 1 second, guys.
I got this beat.
Yeah.
Pretty basic, but when you put it with.
All right. So, where was I? I lost my train of thought. What was I saying, Singe? Singe, you always pick up right where I left off. What was I saying? Anyone remember?
Oh yeah. It's not a cell phone. What the hell is it? What is it? It's not.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. There you go. It's not a cell phone, not a computer. It's not a camera. Is not a telescope. Thank you. Okay. Boom. Back on track. Zoom in.
The sun journeys from the equator at the March equinox up in concentric spirals to the Tropic of Cancer. When the sun is in this position, the northern hemisphere experiences summer and the southern hemisphere experiences winter. After which, the sun turns and begins making its way back to the equator. The word tropic stems from the Latin word tropicus, which means pertaining to a turn. The sun journeys back, taking the same concentric spiral path, and reaches the equator again. It then keeps going and reaches the Tropic of Capricorn. When the sun is in this position, the southern hemisphere experiences summer and the northern hemisphere experiences winter. After a time, the sun turns and begins making its way back to the equator for the March equinox. The equinox occurs when the sun is journeying the circle of the equator, and those living along this line of latitude will see the sun directly overhead at a 90-degree angle at solar noon. The March equinox marks the season of spring in the northern hemisphere, and the September equinox marks the season of autumn. If you live in the southern hemisphere, this is reversed, and the September equinox marks spring and the March equinox autumn. It is important to note that the sun never reaches the Arctic Circle, nor does it reach the Antarctic Circle. It never reaches the poles. It journeys to the tropic circles and then turns back. The point at which the sun reaches its most northerly and southerly excursion relative to the equator is called the solstice. Solstice comes from the Latin word solstitium, which means point at which the sun seems to stand still. And indeed, many do note that the sun seems to stop on the solstices. And this is because, in a sense, it does. It reaches the most northerly and southerly excursion and turns back. But why the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn? Who names these circles of latitude? Our historical ancestors did. They had clocks that not only told them the seconds of the hour, the hours in the day, but also the moment of dusk and dawn and the current phase of the moon. Their clocks understood the true time, the bigger picture. They understood the celestial clock. The stars above us, beyond our firmament, and in the waters above, revolve at a constant 1 degree every 4 minutes, from east to west, that is, anti-clockwise. This means they revolve at 15 degrees each hour. 15 degrees multiplied by 24 hours is 360, a full circle. The stars above are fixed. They do not stray from their anti-clockwise journey, but revolve and complete a full circle every day. Our ancient historical ancestors knew this. They assigned the stars above into fixed constellations. They divided the 360-degree circle of the sky above into 12 divisional arcs of 30 degrees, in which each constellation of the zodiac resides in. They designated each constellation in each 30-degree arc with an anthropomorphic symbol, most of which are animals. Zodiac is an interesting word. Zodiac, the arcs of the zoo. Yes, the parallels with Noah's Ark are strikingly obvious. Each constellation of the zodiac moves from its fixed position in the waters above at 1 degree every 72 years. The stars in the circle above us are fixed in their positions, but every 72 years, the entire circle shifts 1 degree. This is what is called the precession of the equinox.
Here it is.
Remember, each arc is 30 degrees. If we multiply 72 with 30, we get 2,100.
But I played the wrong one, dude. I had to use the restroom, so. I think this is it.
Hey, fellas.
Hold on.
I just spent the last 15 minutes trying every method possible to send $100, and it won't accept my card.
Hold on.
I just spent the last 15 minutes.
This might be right. Hold on.
3 ways to make it do it.
I think it's right. All right. Sorry, guys.
I know one way to make it do it.
160 years.
Wait, what were you saying? What are you saying, John?
I just spent the last 15 minutes trying every method possible to send
Tommy money.
Yeah, it won't accept my card, so I'm gonna have to get a hold of Daryl. I'll get a hold of Daryl tomorrow and take
Daryl. Yeah. Do that.
No, the other way you could do is, like I said, you could get an Amazon.
Oh yeah, that's right. But I'll just call Daryl tomorrow. I got it figured out. I talked to him.
Let's do this. This should work.
Good. Very good.
All right, this is easier.
It cannot be. All this time, in plain sight. A distorted, unreliable yet steadfast reflection. A quasi-photographic image of both our known world and what is this? This is the unknown world. Thank you, Stergios, for all your work. Stergios has mapped out each continent to the minutest detail. His work is meticulous. He has mapped time zones, seasons, flight paths, and distances.
This is the moon. But
the first true flat Earth map. And it is of utmost importance, primarily due to the unknown landmass over here that Stergios has named Terra Vista, after the Ewaranon Monte landmass of the same name. Why have we never heard of this land before?
He used the Ewaranon Monte map.
If the area here is our known world, then the realm is absolutely enormous. But wait a minute.
He used the Ewaranon Monte map and like the Gleason map, and I think the AE map too, but he didn't use the regular friggin'
Stergios' presentation of our known world here maps the 5 prominent circles of latitude. We see the Arctic Circle, the tropics, the equator, and the Antarctic Circle. And Stergios has mapped the sun's concentric journey around these circles of latitude, mapping seasons and time zones with the utmost precision and accuracy.
Yeah, he did this.
So what's going on? The sun and moon cannot journey the entirety of the land masses presented here because it would take too long. Does this landmass not have its own sun? Or perhaps the moon is not a map of the greater realm after all. But not so fast. We need to spend some time breaking down Stergios' discovery here.
Yes.
How the image on the face of the moon was and is formed, when it was formed, and why are all questions that no one can answer. Nobody knows apart from the deceivers in higher places.
Sum it up,
but there are a lot of things hidden in plain sight that bring us a little closer to having a better understanding of this mysterious phenomenon. First of all is the nature of this image. It is a composite image. You are witnessing multiple images simultaneously when looking at the face of the moon. And these images are akin to a type of X-ray photography.
X-ray.
There is also evidently a lot of proportion an optical illusion present in these images. No one can offer an explanation as to how this composite image has formed, nor has anyone ever provided a satisfactory answer as to what exactly the moon is. And rightly so, for if they could, we would not be in this mess in the first place. While most alternative views of the moon's true nature are rooted in nonsensical theories, such as those dreamt up by many deceivers and boys who never grew up, and who like the idea that aliens created the moon and there exist underground bases deep within its craters. There is one man, however, who spoke of the moon in the years leading up to the space race in the 60s, and who offered a very sensible insight. In 1965, Professor R. Foster challenged the corrupt scientific complex by stating that landing on the moon was an impossibility. It is an impossibility, according to Foster, because the moon is plasma and not solid. Here is what he said in an... Like most that speak out, Foster was most likely controlled opposition. Notice that he says it is possible to land on other planets, but not the moon. It is likely that it was his task to introduce a half-truth, that the moon is a plasma phenomenon, only for his claims to be, quote, debunked and proved wrong, unquote, a few years later, after they staged the moon landings.
All right.
Yep.
Love it.
Well, Mr. Foster had it half right.
Well, yeah, exactly. Or maybe, he knew it wasn't a rock, at least, right?
That's for sure.
So, all right. So basically, yeah, we want to debunk the moon map. We should use the right images and the right maps and all that. Okay. Let's see what goes back to this.
It takes 2,160 years for the circle above to shift one whole arc.
You going to say something, John?
Astronomers call this an age.
Nothing.
By entering or the dawn of a new age.
What are you saying?
I said nothing like it. I was just going to show you something real quick.
What do you got?
I'm reading the owner's manual to my cool picks right now.
Oh, you got it? You got it with you? Show it. I'll put you full screen, all right? You got, so what is it, a P900? P950?
950.
Brand new?
This is my owner's manual. Here, let me grab the camera.
Yeah. I'm going to put the link out, too, if anybody wants to join. There's a lot of people here tonight. Let's get it going. Boom.
Here it is.
All right.
That's great, man. I can't wait to get something like that.
It's like Daryl's. He got a P1000. It's big.
Yeah.
Can you make it? Can you open it up and make the thing come out like go out and come back in like automatic?
No, I ain't touched it yet. I'm gonna read the owner's manual.
Yeah. Do that.
So, anyways,
yeah.
I didn't get the 1000 because on the reviews it said that it weighs a pound more, and the reaction time is not as quick, and you get 60. You only get 200 pictures for a battery. This gives you like 290 or 60, and like this is easier to handle because I only have one hand. My left hand is only good for waving. So, it'd be easier to control. So I'm still going to get a 1000, because they discontinued making them.
Yeah.
But I'll just buy one of those used just for the fact so I can get that got 125 zoom. The Nikon P950 only has 83.
So now you can
I'm going to be ready for the...
Now you can...
This could be it, Harry. Pass the word along. Tell the men it's time to shoot the moon. Shoot the moon!
Shoot the moon, John. Shoot the moon.
Yeah. I will. I guess there's a lunar eclipse coming up sometime in March. I just heard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's right. We ain't gonna be able
there's
to
a
see it.
solar eclipse in April, and there's a solar eclipse coming.
Well, April 8th, of
April
course.
8th.
Yeah.
You can't do that. No.
But
so
there's the lunar one coming up, but we won't be able to see it. I just remembered.
So this guy that's talking, this is Ewar, right? Ewar. Listen to the voice. Listen to the voice.
As Wikipedia tells us, the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn were named such because many years ago.
So he's basically on Odyssey, right? And like everyone on Odyssey and like people in the Mudflood community, it's been like a long time thing. Like nobody knows who Ewar is. Like who is he? Like a few people did shows of him. Like nobody really knows who. Well, I know who the fucker is. I went to fucking high school with Ewar, dude. Are you serious?
No, really? Oh
yeah. I went to high school with Ewar, dude. All right. Ewar was this little stout, chubby, short, retarded kid with a giant forehead. And he sat in the third row.
Yeah, you thought he was retarded.
No, he was. He was short. Yeah, he was short, fat, and stout. Giant forehead. His name was Ewar. He sat in the third row in my science class, dude, in high school. And you want to, and you know what's fucked up? You want to see what he looked like? I got a picture of him. Okay. That's Ewar. There he is. Right there. Yes.
Look at the smile on him.
Yeah, look at him, dude. I remember him like I'm laughing because I remember him like it was yesterday. You know, like I know.
Everybody knows that picture is Ewar, right? We all know
that's him. Yeah. And the thing is, it's like I was like really like stressed out about it, like, but now like because I used to. I'm getting.
Look at the 5 head on him.
I remember like it was yesterday. Like now I look at it and I'm like, wow, he looks young. He looks young.
He's got a 5 head.
He was like really he has a 5. Yeah, he has a 5 head. And the thing is, he's like, he was really smart. He was an egghead. He was really, really smart. He was like,
well, yeah, that's why he was 10 years old in your high school class.
And you know what else? His voice hasn't changed at all. Like the voice is still the same. Like, let me show you. Let me show you.
I guess that happens when you got genetic defects, but
yeah, let me show you for a second.
Oh no, I guess it worked out. He grew up.
Why?
In the days before Christ, the days before BC, the sun was in the constellation of Cancer at the June solstice.
That's him.
And the sun was in the constellation of Capricorn at the December solstice.
So
what does it mean for the sun to be in a given constellation during
they thought he was like really smart.
Do you think he knows where he's at right now? That smile on his face, he looks pretty happy.
That was Ewar. Everybody who's wondering, that was Ewar. All right, go ahead.
I was telling everybody how you don't use GPS, but you use the moon map instead for wherever you go.
Yeah, I use the moon map as my map. Like people are like, oh, there are no well, no. All right, if God put the sun, moon, stars in the sky like a clock, okay, a clock for us to tell time, the changing of time.
The moon does.
Yeah, for us to tell time and the changing of time. He built this place like a clock, right? All right, and he put a clock right in the sky for us to tell time. Well, he put a map there for us too, dude, so we could see distances and what the place actually looks like. All right, that's what I think. He put a clock and a map built in. What's up, Anson?
You know the theory on how that got there?
Welcome to the show. What's
Anson
up,
Howard? Welcome.
Yeah, good.
What's up? Well, I know the theory on how what got there.
How that moon map got on the moon of Earth?
Yeah, I heard a few theories on it. Are you asking me, or do you want to say it?
Well, I know. I heard one that, like, the moon's plasma in it might be made out of some type of silver.
Okay.
Like a film, and it's actually like a it's almost like a film image of the Earth embedded on it. Follow me?
Mhm.
Almost like a photograph. If the moon was made out of some type of silver plasma, or it's just a theory I heard on how the image got there.
I heard that whatever it is, some people think it was some sort of experiment, maybe, that went wrong to form the moon.
No, God put it there.
Some people, yeah, some people say that too. Like, there's a whole bunch of theories on it. Nobody really knows, but how it was put there.
Sun in the sky at solar noon. Of course, during solar noon, we would not actually be able to see the stars in the firmament beyond. Therefore, to discern the sun's position relative to the constellations requires either 1, a thorough understanding of the stars and their positions above. Our ancient ancestors, we are told, created star charts and used devices such as astrolabes. Or 2, computer technology that is able to map and overlap the sun's position against the backdrop of the stars and constellations at solar noon. The sun's presence in the constellation of a given zodiac sign means exactly as it sounds.
Hey, what's up, Rob?
At solar noon, on the day of the solstice, the sun should be in front of a given constellation. Look closer at the zodiac wheel featured on the dial of these clocks. Here we see that both the constellations of Cancer and Capricorn are polar opposites to one another. These are the names of the 2 lines of latitude on the maps, and that we use to discern the sun's most northerly and southerly excursion above our flat plane. All historical cartographic world maps display both these circles of latitude as Cancer and Capricorn. We see it here on Mercator's maps.
Good job on the thumbnail, Singe.
On the Ortelius.
Thank you.
On the Rouge. On the Urbano Monte. Cartographic maps combine so-called science with aesthetics to communicate spatial information effectively. They strive to be accurate. And we still use this designation of Cancer and Capricorn for these circles of latitude on our cartographic maps today. Google Earth also uses these designations. But why? As Wikipedia states, when this line of latitude was named in the last centuries BC, the sun was in the constellation Cancer at the June solstice, the time each year that the sun reaches its zenith at this latitude.
That's going to get good in a minute. I've seen that one. All right, here we go. We'll get back to that, though.
What's the last century BC? I know what the first century BC is, but
is that what he said? He's at the last century BC. Come on, Ewar. I'm telling you, he used to say that shit in high school too. Rock, it was nuts. Like, well, last century BC in the third row. Dude, we used to say, "Shut the fuck up!" Smack him in the back of his head. And I used to give him a wedgie sometimes in the bathroom. He's just like, whatever, dude. He's just so
yeah,
full
like
of
you know, like John was saying
with his accent there. Yeah, what's
about
up?
the Polaroid, like a Polaroid film shot. You know, like on plasma TVs, people used to have plasma TVs, and then if there was a logo in the corner, like it would be on your plasma TV. You couldn't get it off.
Do you got a new mic or something?
Can you hear me? Is my microphone working?
No, it sounds good. It sounds better than normal to me. Better than before. I don't know. All right, ready? Here we go.
Vibes of Cosmos. I left the links to the channel down below and his shop, but let's do a resume video. The moon. It says the moon.
The moon.
Upside down, the reflection, plasma, moon, and all that stuff. Contrast. So
we gotta get this guy. We gotta get this guy on the show.
He changed the colors, so you understand the difference between blue, water, and green, land. And then you do it bigger and you add more blue and more green to see the difference between what's water and what's land.
This is how he
And then you
made
see
it.
the lands there. The known world, which is what we understand as the Gleason map, that includes Atlantida, Atlantis, and Lemuria, and the unknown world. You see all that stuff you see within the red circles, that's the known world. Well, known world where the known continents are, but you still have Atlantis and Lemuria and other places which are forbidden because the ships and planes, they have the routes according to what they desire, not what you desire or me. And then this is like the political map. You see how we did the transition? You
What
see
up,
from the
Jonathan?
moon, ocean, land, and more contrast, and the known world in the circle, and then
Echoing.
the political world. So what you see there,
Hold
if you do
on.
a zoom, it's not very...
Jonathan, you're echoing. While I screen share, you gotta use headphones or it's gonna echo. I don't know if you have
Me?
No, Jonathan. It's Jonathan. Jonathan is echoing. Let me see.
Gotcha.
Let me see.
Still echo?
Oh no. It's just all right. It's not echoing. It's just in the background. It's fine.
Like, you know, there's like if you buy the maps, it's clear. But you have what my mouse says. This is Atlantis, and this is Lemuria. Sorry, Lemuria. Here, this is Australia. Lemuria, and this is Africa and Russia and Europe, and this is the known world with the oceans, and then this is the unknown world. That's where all the missions with Antarctica.
Yep.
The station, like the station, the stations, the missions, like, well, the Apollo missions as well, like the thing with space. When they send these missions to space, they send missions to explore the lands beyond the ice wall, beyond the limits.
Well, yeah.
And here,
all right,
when
let's
you travel
go with
with
that.
the ships and planes,
Let's
you
go
just
with that. Okay, so we know that space shuttles don't go to outer space, right?
Right.
Like, but it is a plane, right? Like a jet. And then what the fuck? I mean, what if they were building a vehicle that could get them past the ice wall? You know, to get to these extra lands, and that's where they bring those things. That's what he's trying to say.
go where you're allowed. So if you want to go from a continent to the other continent, that doesn't mean that they're not other continents within the boundaries of the known world. It's just there's no ships and no planes that take you there because you and I are just common people. And here, so you understand from a geographical point of view, the difference. So what you see there, the dark blue within the boundaries, that's where we live. And again, we have Atlantis as well, and Lemuria and some continents because we're not allowed to explore them. And what's beyond, like what's like more like in white stuff, it's like the Terra Vista lands, the lands where the Germans went, the lands where NASA went with the missions, the lands where they say, oh, there's different planets like Mars and stuff. And that's it. We don't know anything further beyond because this is like the only thing that the moon shows us. Fortunately, we have the moon for this. So you understand, like now the big world, right? So this is like the bigger world. So this is like the reflection of what we can see on the sky. Now, we don't know if there's something more than this, if this is the whole universe, or if this is just like our local universe here, and then there's other universes. Do you get my point?
Yes, I get it.
Sponsored by Burger King.
The Man in the Moon.
Sponsored by Safeway.
Sponsored by Burger King. We advertise in orange and red because we know that makes you hungry subconsciously. Gold, orange, and red. Make you.
I'm gonna have to mute.
Better blue and green. Water and
hold on one second.
Try to find a restaurant that
better
doesn't use red.
I'm gonna have to mute him
their
for a second
logo.
because that's loud. It wasn't loud at first, and then it got loud. So the background. Hold on.
What, me?
No, Jonathan. What happened? I unmuted him. Now he's muted.
So try to find a restaurant whose logo doesn't have red.
He unmuted.
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
It's all right, Jonathan. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit of noise, but when it cuts out
even still
the video, it sucks.
Still, and then you see the political map with all the countries and the unknown, well, the known for NASA and those in the high power and the high ranks. For us common mortals, we just like, here. And then the geographical map. So you understand the difference between land and ocean, and you see the known oceans, and you see where Atlantis. So Atlantis is here and Lemuria. And hey, and don't mistake this. So when you see here, these are the limits, okay? Of course, there's ice, but we don't know if it's a perfect circle or not, okay? because we don't know. We are not allowed to explore. As simple as that. We are not allowed.
No.
Period. End of the story. We only know what we can see from what this awesome YouTuber Vibes of Cosmos is showing on his channel, and it's pretty much the only thing that comes closer to reality, at least in the sense of 80% or so, regarding the plasma moon map refraction, however you want to call it. And it's the only guy I found on the internet that I consider to be at least anti-hypocrite and approaching what we can measure, because there's no use for us to measure something that we cannot, like gravity, for example. It's just a theory. But at least this one we know what we see on the sky. We see the moon. And there's the scientist from the 60s who said the moon is not something solid you can step on. Therefore, if a scientist said it before the Apollo missions in the 60s on national television, I think it was Australia or the United States of America. I don't remember. But you have the interview on YouTube. And yeah, Vibes of Cosmos did a very good job. So this is where we live. But you want to go in a straight line to explore. No, you can't. Why? Well, because you go to an airport or to a port and there's no way. You can just go where you're allowed to pay to go. End of the story. So have yourself an awesome holiday if you have holidays to go where you're allowed to go. Because you're not allowed to go where you're not allowed to go. You get my point. I'm just trying to be as realistic and close to the real world and anti-hypocrisy, not hypocrisy, but against hypocrisy as possible. So again, and a big applause to Vibes of Cosmos.
You want to say something, Singe?
Oh, I said they give us the illusion of freedom.
Yeah.
I think everybody heard me.
I left the links to his shop. You can buy. When you buy from his shop, you have to buy. When you buy like the whole stuff, you get the link and you get the songs and the PDF and the pictures and the JPEG. Well, usually it's like JPEGs, so photos in the same folder. But you download everything. That's how he decided to do it. So yeah, minimum 10 euros. That was the price when I bought all the stuff with the maps. It is fascinating, and he is the only one, to be honest, that has published something like this. And your mind goes like boom, like boom, like way beyond. And I'm not saying that, because of course we have the Vedas, the Vedas from Hindu. We still don't know who is closer, the Vedas or this, because we don't know. But I see Vibes of Cosmos as the only stuff that is close enough to something realistic that can be seen, observed, and measured, at least from a logical point of view and from a real world physical point of view. So let's enjoy the places where we can't go. There you go. Atlantis, and it's like, the first islands close to Africa. There's no straight voyages from Africa in a straight line, nothing. Here's Lemuria, and it's close to New Zealand. But if you go on the ocean, you go besides Lemuria, so you never touch Lemuria or Terra del Fuego. So yeah, you can go from South America easily on the ocean and never see Lemuria. So yeah, because the distances here are huge, like on the ocean. It's not like something, and because of the law of perspective, you will never see it. And also, remember, like when they tell us when we travel with the plane, that it is absolutely, like they even go so super angry, you have to close the windows, and they really mean it. Like, I actually was yelled at once, and I other customers as well on the plane. You have to close the windows, to like put down the. It doesn't matter if it's like nighttime or daytime, just like, because there must be a reason. Maybe
they do that to me.
Spot something sometimes if you're lucky. So if everything is closed, then there's no way to spot anything. So sad, our human species, isn't it? Well, at least enjoy your
funny that they did that to
summer or winter if you live in Australia, or South Africa or South America. So let me know what you think, and let me know what you think about Vibes of Cosmos. I'm sure you've seen the guy, his stuff. I think it's one of the most amazing stuff ever published online. I don't know how he got to this conclusion, but at least we have something. So see you in the next video.
All right.
So Lucas, tengo.
All right, here we go. There you go.
So Ray.
Yeah, what's up?
You were saying, about aliens are, going past the ice wall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we do live in an enclosed system, so there's a barrier somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
it, who knows how far it is past the ice wall. So, that enclosed system that we live in could go who knows how far, and who knows what's on the other side of that ice wall. So, yeah, there could be other lands, and who knows how far it goes. A lot of people think that like the dome or whatever's enclosing our system,
Yeah.
is like it's not too far away from the Antarctica.
Yeah.
It could be a lot farther away.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's a trip. It's a trip, dude. It's a real trip.
Yep.
And you never know what a submarine can do going under the ice.
Yeah, well said.
Similarly, when the Tropic of Capricorn was named, the sun was in the constellation of Capricorn at the December solstice. And the wheel of the zodiac makes this very easy to understand. For instance, if the sun is in any given constellation at solar noon on the June solstice, then its counterpart on the December solstice will always be in the constellation opposite to the June sign. And this is represented with a straight vertical line.
That's Ewar. There he is.
There he is.
I remember. Listen, I remember when I was a kid and I went to school with Ewar. There he is, man. Good old Ewar, man. It looks like, oh man, it brings back memories. Oh, shit, man. He was a little fat, stout, fat, chubby, retarded kid.
That little kid was in your high school.
Giant forehead. No, that's Ewar, the one who's talking.
Right. That little kid was in your high school class?
Yeah, he was in my high school class. You know why, John? Because he was really advanced. He was like 7 or 8 years old, maybe in high school with me.
All right.
Yeah, that's why he's making videos now about this type of stuff, because he's really his high IQ is really high. Ewar.
No wonder that guy hides his face.
Yeah. Look at his forehead, dude.
I wonder what he looks like now.
Giant forehead, dude. I know. I wonder what he looks like now, dude. I know. I mean, he still had the same voice, though. Like, his voice hasn't changed at all.
Really? It sounds the same?
He talked like that even then. Yeah.
It never changed?
Never changed. He had, very deep voice for...
or maybe, maybe he was born with a deep voice,
Ewar with his giant
A guy like that, his nuts never had a drop. They were born. He was born with a deep voice.
Oh God, so anybody who's just tuning in, that's Ewar. I went to school with him. He sat in the third row in my science class. Right.
I'm saying Ewar knew nothing. Is that what you're saying?
What's up?
No, he knew more than.
Oh, he was good. Oh yeah, he was sat in the third row, but he was like really, really smart. He was in the head.
Sounds like you're making fun of it or whatever, but like I haven't looked into Ewar super in depth. What are you saying?
Oh, he's good. Oh no, his old stuff is really good. A lot of people don't like the new stuff. To be honest with you, the new stuff that he's been putting out, no, nobody likes it. That's why I don't really play it. But his old stuff was good.
Oh, so you're not hating on him?
I'm not hating on him. I'm just.
Oh, I thought you were.
No. It's a joke.
You were joking.
It's a joke, Jonathan, because
Ewar was pretty cool.
It's a joke, Jonathan, because he never shows his face in the Mudfoot community. Nobody really knows who he is and what he looks like.
Ewar doesn't show his face.
Ewar. Yeah.
It will appear in the constellation of Libra in the December solstice. If the sun was in the constellation of Pisces at the June solstice, then it will be in the constellation of Virgo during the December solstice. These signs are, in a sense, bound in their opposition to one another. And this is where it becomes interesting. The vertical line here represents the tropic circles and their respective constellations during the solstices, but they are governed by another circle of latitude, the equator. On the wheel, this is represented by the horizontal line, and you'll see that the lines form a cross. The equator and the tropic circles are bound in unison by this cross. Remember, the zodiac is the clock face of the circle of stars above us. When one turns anti-clockwise, the rest follow. And just like the signs of the solstices, the left hand of the horizontal line here represents the constellation the sun is in during the March equinox, and the right hand side representative of the sign during the September equinox. And it is the left hand side of the cross, the March equinox, or what is referred to as the vernal equinox, and its zodiac sign, which acts as a reference point for the entire celestial coordinate system. It's called the first point of Aries. The naming of this reference point after the sign Aries is arbitrary, or so they say. We also use it as a reference point for naming the age we are in. And if we start in the age of Aries, we can illustrate the precession of the equinox and the designation of constellations to their corresponding circles of latitude quite clearly. For instance, if the sun is in the constellation of Aries during the March equinox, then we have the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. We also see that the sun will be in the constellation of Libra during the September equinox. Now the stars above us are revolving anti-clockwise from their usual fixed positions at 1 degree every 72 years, and a whole zodiac arc every 2,160 years. So let's jump 2,160 years to the age of Pisces. The sun is, of course, in Pisces during the March equinox. We have the Tropic of Gemini and Sagittarius, and the sun in Virgo during the September equinox.
Hey, quit showing that face, man. I'm gonna have bad dreams.
Representation of the constellations, as if your view was outside of the firmament and looking down on the stars. If you were standing underneath this wheel and looking up, it would rotate anti-clockwise. I am using the clockwise representation because it is the best way to illustrate the precession of the equinox. This rotation keeps shifting one arc every 2,160 years until the wheel makes a full circle, or what is known as a great year. Why is this important? What we see here, and what the mainstream narrative confirms, is that the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn occurred during the age of Aries. For the last 2,000 years or so, we have been in the age of Pisces. Remember, an age lasts for roughly 2,160 years. And we are now on the cusp of entering into the age of Aquarius. On June 2020, during the solstice, the sun entered the border of Taurus, and therefore the transition has already begun. And Google will tell you this yourself if you search. A new age, or a precession of 30 degrees into a new constellation on the March equinox, is not some new age, pseudo-spiritual fantasy of astrologists and yogis alike. It is an astronomical law of the stars above in the firmament, and you can track it yourself every equinox and solstice. It is a critical and integral component in the function of our realm. If we are entering the age of Aquarius, then that means that the sun has not been in the constellation of Cancer or Capricorn during the solstice for over 2,000 years, when our realm was in the age of Aries. All the old and current cartographic maps, and even Google Earth, represent these circles of latitude as the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. There are no maps that present the tropic lines correctly as they should be in the age of Pisces, our current age. Wikipedia and other mainstream narratives of deception tell us that our ancient historical ancestors of horse and cart and copper chisels named these circles of latitude in the times of BC, and no one in the course of history that followed bothered to change the names of the tropics to their accurate designation. We are in the age of Pisces and have been for over 2,000 years. The circles of latitude should be called the Tropic of Gemini and the Tropic of Sagittarius. And so what? What's in a name? But this brilliant lady who taught me this flat fact was patient. What's in a name? Everything. And until she said it, I didn't realize how stupid I'd been to overlook this. Maps are not just pretty projections of the landmass on Earth. They are practical instruments of navigation. Our ancient historical ancestors, we are told, depended on celestial navigation, on the position of the stars in the firmament above to guide their way when at sea. Follow the North Star. And if perchance their compasses failed, then knowing the map of the stars above would be critical. Believing that our ancestors just continued to use the designation of Cancer and Capricorn for the tropics that was established by their own historical ancestors, who belong to a different age entirely, is absurd. Celestial navigation would have been an essential skill set for anyone navigating their way across the oceans. And if they did have advanced technology, like we have our computers and GPS systems, then would they really be that lazy and neglectful to not bother designating the tropic circles to their correct constellation titles? Did they really invest so much time building the most advanced astronomical clocks only to neglect their maps? No, they did not. All these historical maps present designations for the tropic circles of latitude that are well over 2,000 years old. Why? And why are we still using this designation today? For you see, these maps, and all our maps, including Google Earth, are tools of deception. Where are the maps from the age of Pisces? The maps of the last 2,000 years? And could these maps actually be over 2,000 years old? It seems like someone does not want us to know the age we reside in, or wants to distract us from finding out just how important the precession of the equinox really is. This brilliant lady's flat fact leaves us with the following conclusions. The maps, all of them, Mercator and so on, are either 1. Original maps that belong to a period that occurred thousands of years ago and have been given false dates and narratives surrounding their creation. 2. Manipulated copies and versions of original maps that were created over 2,160 years ago. Or 3. They are all fake and created during the Great Reset of the last few hundred years to generate a false history and timeline and solidify the false historical narrative and the rise of Galilean heliocentricity. Out of all of these options, the second and the third are most likely. Cartographic world maps are not easy documents to create and establish. They require a solid understanding of our Earth's size and shape. They require a thorough understanding of the circles of latitude that are integral to the workings of our world. They require a complex understanding of the continents and land masses. These maps are likely manipulated duplications of maps thousands of years old, or completely fake.
So what he's trying to basically show here, just to sum it up like for him a little bit, is that none of the maps are accurate. There's not one accurate map. Okay? That's what he's showing. I'll let it go.
And we do see signs of manipulation, especially in regard to the landmass known as Hyperborea. We see Hyperborea in various maps of varying styles, and we are told that these are from the 16th century. But towards the 17th century, we see Hyperborea start to be erased from the maps. We see unknown land masses that are present in some of these old maps.
So basically, like, Hyperborea is on the old maps, and then like 200 years later, it's not showing up on the maps anymore.
Vanish entirely. And then it dawned on me, the message of this flat fact. We have no trustworthy maps. Not a single one. We have no reliable source to show us the bigger picture of the realm we inhabit. I continued my journey, and as I ventured
do we have any accurate maps? Oh, wait, the moon.
Deeper into the forest, the path to the center that led me thus far was gone, and I could not turn back, and there lay no path in front of me. I became truly lost. How to know where you are going if you don't know where you are in the first place, if you don't have a map? All historical waymarks that I had invested some degree of trust in before were now completely unreliable and questionable. How much had been edited by the controllers? How much truth was left? What if all the maps were fake? Why are they hiding the maps of the last 2,000 years? We do not have one single accurate or honest world map. And like in all moments of being lost, right before despair takes hold, an unforeseen circumstance arose that set me back on course. I stumbled through thick overgrowth and out into a moonlit clearing with a small lake.
Yep, here we go.
At this clearing, I met a mysterious figure named Stergios. I told him I was lost, and he told me to come and look into the lake. He told me to watch the water. What did I see, he asked. Myself, I replied. My reflection rippling and glistening in the moonlight. Mirror, mirror. Look beyond yourself, he said. What do you see? And there it was, just as it had always been. Mirror, mirror, way up high. Mirror, mirror in the sky. Mirror, mirror, oh how they lie.
Do you hear that? Mirror, mirror.
Yep. This is where it gets good. It was already good, but this is where it gets really good.
Right on.
He had to break down that none of the maps are real. They're all bullshit. You know, he had to show you how they make them.
There's the one in the circle.
Hold on, one second. I'll pause.
Yeah, the North Circle one. It looks like it has 4 rivers coming out of it. You know, the small circle where the North Pole.
Yeah, Mount Meru. Mount Meru.
It looks like it looks like it's got 4 rivers coming out of it, according to that map right there.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah, it does.
on the other maps.
Yeah.
And the Bible speaks
it
of
says
4
something about the
rivers.
Bible. Yeah, in the Bible, right? Yeah. It's biblical. Right, John? What
Yes.
does it say? Do you know, John?
Well, I know River, Euphrates, and Tigris might have something to do with they originally came from, the
The North Pole
the
area.
north. Yeah.
That's where Eden is.
Thank you. Thank you, John. That's why we're paying you so much. Thank you.
No, but if you go back, like right there, you
Right.
see it? It's got 4 rivers up there.
Yeah, up here. Yeah.
3 little ones and 1 big one.
Yeah, all right. Let me show you. It's on the let me show you, John. I mean, Rock.
Wow.
I'll show you something. So I think it's the Gleason map. I'll show you, dude.
If you go on the Google map search or whatever, and look at the North Pole, all you see is blue water.
Monte Oberno map. Monte Oberno map.
Supposed to be ice and a bunch of weird CGI glitches where you see they're trying to hide. They're throwing fake water. They're hiding obviously something. It's all a distorted screen, which is supposed to be water in the North Pole area.
Yeah.
So there could be all kinds of land up there that they're hiding. And if you look on Google Earth and go up there to the North Pole and look, it's all distorted looking. Why? All right, go ahead.
They don't let you go there. Just like they don't let you go to the Antarctic. They don't let you go there.
Yeah, my shirt. See my shirt? Antarctica.
Some of the people
go there.
studying the Little Season of Satan, some people think that's where the encampment of the saints are.
Yeah.
North Pole. It's right below the North Pole. So.
Oh, really?
And it's got the, it's got the.
Rock, you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, what I was saying was some of the people that are studying this Satan's little season thing.
Yes.
They think that, because where did the saints go? Supposedly from the millennium. They say maybe they're at the North Pole. That's where they're at. And then you got the green northern lights that are similar to the color of Revelations 4:1-3, where it says that the throne room of heaven is like an emerald. And you got the northern lights. So it all comes together like.
Correct. Well, they say that the Lord, his throne, which is in the third heaven, sits over a sea of glass. And I think there's a mention that it might be a green sea of glass, which would be, have something to do with the firmament, and the green aurora borealis that comes from the North Pole, which would go straight up to where he's supposed to be, to his throne.
Yeah, so they could be like the Jacob's ladder, the northern lights.
Okay. So and then you ask, where would this? Correct. So where would the saints be during the 1,000-year millennium? They were here on the earth for 1,000 years, I believe. At least the martyrs were. Where they went afterwards, I don't know. But if that's true and that happened, then Satan was released from the pit after 1,000 years, and he has control over things right now. And if that's so, the way it looks, he might have took over during the last reset, which could have been 300 to 500 years ago. We don't know. And that's, so the millennial reign could have.
Yep, it is. So yeah, like the reason why it resonates with me is because when I was a kid, dude, I used to think I didn't know the Earth was flat. I was a kid. I thought I was on a globe, and I used to look up at the moon sometimes, and I would see like, you know how some nights when you see the moon, it's really clear, and you can see like craters on the moon from like, you know, with the naked eye. Well, like I used to think those craters looked like land masses when I was a kid, and I used to think to myself, you know, what if it's another planet? What if the moon was a planet? And they're not telling us because they don't want us to know that we're that close to another planet. Like there's life on it. It just looks white, you know? I used to think that as a kid, like it would be a trip. But now it kind of resonates with me. Like it looked like land masses to me because it was, dude. It's like a reflection, you know? It's a map.
Yeah, and they always try to tell us that's the man on the moon that you see up there.
Oh yeah. They try to make you
remember
think
back in the day.
It's like they try to make you think it's anything other than a map. Oh, it's a rock. You know, they don't want you to think it's a map, so they tell you it's a rock. You know, and it makes sense to me, dude. It resonates with me. I like it. I think the moon might be a map. I'm like 85% on that. 85% it's a map. 15% like it's something else. You know, like what else would it be, dude? Reflection.
It can be many things.
They got time zones for everything.
That's some chopped up stuff.
So, like, what's going on there is like they've actually like this channel. It's called Vibes of Cosmos. Vibes of Cosmos, the channel that started this research. They've actually like mapped out distances and like you could scale it down from the moon to the Earth and time zones and everything else and how it works. It's a lot of research. It's a long channel. If you start from the very beginning and you watch it all and you pay attention and look at, you'll see what they're trying to say.
Did you see all those times?
Oops, I lost what I was saying. What were you saying, John?
All those time zones were different sizes.
Where was we? Oh man, I lost my.
And then when you get up to Alaska,
yeah,
you know, right there, they got like 3 different time zones all within one little area.
Hold on, let me just play for a sec, John. That's where we were about, I think, because of music. Go ahead, John. I hope.
Well, if this next screenshot or two, it showed all the different time zones. Not one of them were the same.
Yeah. So what does that mean? What does it mean?
Well, shouldn't it be 24 equal? Just like the longitude?
What do you mean? What it just showed right now?
I think he's talking about the moon, the picture of the moon, where you see them lines. They kind of
these ones right here, right here.
No, the real picture of the moon.
Oh,
I thought that was describing the time zones on Earth.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Okay.
But you know, you look at the picture of the moon. They got them ley lines on it.
Yeah.
You see those?
Let me see. You talking about this?
No, the picture of the moon. I mean, yeah.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, show a picture of the moon.
I've seen it. Hold
on.
Yeah. I don't know. Right here?
Yeah, see where them lines at the bottom
like right here.
There? Yeah, and it's got lines.
Yeah.
Like ley lines.
I know, right? Yeah.
Coming from right there.
Yeah, there's several.
They say that's supposed to be the North Pole.
So, like, you know, what it is like they're saying that, like, all right, let me bring this up. AE map. Let me show you. So, like, what they're basically saying is, like, all right, so this is the AE map, and this is, like, what, you know, the flat earthers believe. Like, we believe that, you know, there's a wall of ice that holds us within. Well, they're trying to say that, you know, just because they're saying the moon is a map doesn't mean that it's not flat. What they're trying to say is, like, the moon map. I'll show you. Like they're trying to say the Earth is bigger than what they're telling us. Like the moon map, this pot is on the moon map, but then there's more lands that the moon shows us. Okay?
Right.
There's more lands
Right.
that the moon shows us where they are, and that's how it's a real map of the Earth.
Right.
Yeah.
It
There
said
we go.
every
Joe,
2000.
thanks for showing up. How you doing? I asked Joe to come on tonight. How's it going?
Right.
It's going good, Ray. Thank you,
Every
man. How are you
21.
doing? It sounds
Every
like
2160 years, the Earth changes 30 whatchamacallit. That puts us into the next whatchamacallit.
Yeah, my main thing is like with the molten hot lava core or whatever.
Yeah.
You go to the deepest depths of the core, and they tell you that the crest is a certain amount of miles deep, and then the miles deep isn't that. So like easily like 6 to 7 to 8 miles deep is what they say it is.
8 miles is the furthest they ever drilled.
Yeah, and
Right.
it isn't that though. And so when you get to the basics of it, they're like over there in this other realm where like they don't know where the basics is. They go to like, oh, so how deep it is. It's like, oh, you're gonna dig to China is what they say. They do the whole laughable like China. Yeah, you go to like the other end of the world or whatever, and no, that isn't what it is. So like that's where that's where the flat earthers
When
come
they
back.
say if you dig really deep, you can like end up in Australia, like in the cartoons back in the day when we were kids.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is like that's where flat earthers come back to. Like, no, that isn't real. Like, don't go into that realm of like you like faking, like you being like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
No. Real deal is we can't go past 8 miles. And then so people that live in China, they say we're okay, go down there like Bart Simpson and all that shit. Like that shit isn't real.
No. I want to ask Joe something. So, Joe, I've seen you talking about the outer lands earlier, right? Like I've seen you talk about it before on your channel, on your show. So, what do you think about this moon map? Have you ever seen this?
Well,
We've all seen this. We've all seen
yeah, I've heard about the moon map, and what I've been talking about on my channel, real quickly, is that we're always given this image of a flat
So
Earth.
y'all mean to okay, go ahead. My bad, Joe. I'm not gonna cut out. My bad.
It's all right.
Real quickly, this is what we're usually given like as an image of the flat Earth, and a lot of flat earthers think that Antarctica, being the highest continent in altitude, acts as a basin to hold in our lands. But what I've been telling people on my channel is if you really look critically at the footage they show us of Antarctica, you can see that it's clear that Antarctica does not exist. It's simply not there.
Yeah.
And what is there is up for speculation. I speculate that it's something like this.
It's land, yeah. It's not an ice. It might not even be an ice wall. It could just be land that's uncovered.
That's what it is, in my opinion. In my honest opinion, I don't think there's any ice walls whatsoever.
They tell us that.
I don't think there's any ice walls
It
either.
could be a lie.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
They could just don't want us to go there. They don't want us to go check.
And one thing that I want to
You
propose
go
is
check. Right? Go check.
Ray,
Right? Like I was sitting there.
Ray, one last thing is that if there is a map on the moon, and as a child, Ray, I thought the same thing. That looks like continents and stuff. But
you did, right?
If it's a map, if it's a map, I wonder Is it a map that'll show us the way to salvation in this physical reality? Salvation.
My friends tell me I'm stupid, bro. They tell me I'm stupid.
Joe,
they fucking tell me. No. Just,
wait up, Joe. Since you brought it up, and I told you that I had this tonight, I wanted to show you. Sorry, I'm not cutting you off. You can go, Jonathan. I'm gonna play this though. I'm just. I gotta like keep my train of thought on, or I get.
Ray, I love you, brother. I didn't mean to cut you off. This is your
No,
show.
no, I cut you off, but what I'm trying to do.
This is your.
You both cut me off. Both of you cut me off.
And
I'm gonna cut y'all off.
Hey, you made a good point, Joe.
Yeah,
What's up, Rocky?
Go ahead, Joe. You want to finish what you were saying?
No, just saying hello to everybody. And
all right.
Hey, Joe, that's an excellent point you made.
We all learn from each other. I love you guys. Sorry to cut all of you.
Welcome to a new Italian PNC video. Today we will be looking at the third edition of the Beyond the Ice Walls map. So let's get right into what this is. So many of you know my channel from the Beyond the Ice Walls map, the one that was called the Flight of the Eagle or something like that. And it was a very large map, I think something around something like that. But in the terms that this map follows the theory or fact, depending on what you believe, that there are more than one ring outside of the ice walls. So as you can see in this map, we have.
What Joe's trying to say is there was no ice wall, and it could be just land. Like this.
Yeah, just look that image right there, minus the rings, including the border ring. It's flat and infinite. That's what I'm telling people. You can't map it out because it's impossible to map out something that's infinitely big. Okay, this piece of paper isn't big enough. There's no piece of paper big enough. It's flat. I do believe that creation is flat and infinite. That's my opinion.
And I want to show you something else too. Real quick.
No,
How about this?
I'm right there with you, Joe. And who knows?
Look, this is
it's all
right. This is the Monte Urbano map. Look, and you see this is supposedly the ice wall. Look, there's no. This is map is from like the 1400s, right?
We've all talked about this thing forever.
That's all land out there.
Yes.
Who knows?
So that's what Joe's saying.
Well, I'm saying
I'm right there with everybody. I love all you guys.
But the thing is, Ray, I don't like this.
So what happens? Do we need to like actually get on something?
Hold on.
And should we create? Okay, my bad.
Hold on, you cut Joe off. Go ahead, Joe. What were you saying?
Just I don't like seeing images like this because they have a border to creation. And and what I say is that creation as we know it, like the North America, South America, all the continents and oceans that we know about, that's just literally that's just a drop of water in the ocean compared to the rest of the land and water on this infinite plane. So I don't like these images because they block it in and make it finite, and they make it seem like it's a border. And also psychologically, it causes a border around your mentality so that your open-mindedness isn't free-flowing. This is a bullshit image.
Yeah.
That border is total bullshit. People.
Get rid of it. Get it off the screen.
Yo.
So the Antarctic Treaty period is all of the continents or whatever we think is the people that control us. Like I never wore a mask. I never would wear a mask. But the people that told me to wear a mask, they are in this treaty. And so like that's all I'm getting at is that like we are the ones that like go beyond that treaty. And so when does it happen to where like we're the ones that actually go out there and we go past the 66 parallel and then we do it?
60th.
We're going to need an airship.
Yeah. Good question, man.
Joe.
When are we the ones that actually do it? When are we the ones that actually like all this shit is whatever.
Cool. Look at all these lands. Like,
when enough people on Earth wake up, basically.
And Anson, oh my God,
Anson, what's up?
All I've ever seen. You're
he's been quiet the whole time, but he's been here.
Whatever, dude. He's man. my boy Austin. He's Melodome.
Melodome.
He's one of the real ones, and we all are. And so, when is this actually going to be the step forward? Is all of we living in the moment is the only thing that matters. It is the only thing that matters. So, when are we going to live in the moment, and when are we going to do? And I mean, all I have is my little babies, and all I have is my little spirit inside of my soul.
Yeah.
Who knows? We might not have time to.
I got a
Depends
question
on
for Joe.
what they're gonna do with us in the next few years.
I'm curious, Rock.
I'm not waiting around for that. I'm going to just keep being me, and I'm going to keep being whatever it is in this life.
I'm not gonna
Just
change
like
my
you,
lifestyle.
John. I know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
Hey,
And I'm not telling anybody on this panel anything that they don't know. But like life leads you to us being here right now. And life is living in the moment and whatever this aspect in the world is that we're living in right now.
And freedom, man. Freedom is our birthright.
Yeah.
And that's what's been taken away from us, and it's intellectual freedom.
All right, let me ask Rock. What was your question for?
Okay, so the Bible says there's a circle of the earth. So, do you believe in the Bible, Joe? Do you think? I don't know, 'cause,
I believe in some parts of it, Rock.
Dome and stuff.
Okay, right this minute, I what I would really like is to look at those passages, because are they poetry, metaphor, up to interpretation, or is it real solid? It's been a while since I've seen that. But what I think about the Bible in general, Rock, is that it's either really beautiful truth in a most beautiful poetic way that'll strike you so perfectly that you really feel the light inside, and it's a beautiful thing. But then there's other parts of the Bible that's just straight up dark and disturbing, weird shit.
Well said, Joe.
Yeah.
So,
well,
it has a piece of both of me where I'm like, I'm listening, and then it's like, well, I'm not listening. It's like both of me is like their interpretation.
Sorry, Jonathan. I'm sorry.
And maybe it was deliberately written that way. Maybe the Bible, maybe the powers that be that are evil, maybe they wanted the Bible to be more dark and disturbing. What's that sound?
It's my blowtorch. We basically I was having a conversation with somebody else. Like, don't you think it's a little suspicious about the Bible, right? That in this reality, it seems like the Bible is like everywhere. Like, no matter where you go, there's a Bible. If you go to prison, you can bring a Bible with you. You can bring a hotel room. Like, everywhere you go within the realm, they allow this book. Even if you do something really bad and you're in jail for life, or you're about to die or anything, there's a Bible everywhere. They say it's because it's the word of God, but it's a book. It's a book. It's written on paper. They say that there's like some kind of science behind it. And like, that's another thing. A lot of people can't separate the Bible, the Bible, from God and Jesus. Like, I believe in Jesus.
Right.
I believe in God, but that I don't really believe the Bible, because there's pages missing. There's over 900 different versions of it. There's over like there was supposed to be over 200 books, and they got it down to 66.
Well, what I was going to conclude with is that sometimes I think, just as a hunch, I can't prove this, but as a hunch, sometimes I think that the powers that be that are evil, maybe they wanted the Bible to be even more dark and disturbing than it is, and the light parts in the Bible that are beautiful and truth and love and God, those beautiful parts somehow stayed in the book over all these generations by some kind of miracle. The way our Creator operates in mysterious ways, and maybe throughout history, this Bible went through so many hands and so many like dark and deceptive demonic hands, and somehow the beautiful stuff was somehow left in. Like they were afraid to take it out, maybe. I don't know the reason, but through some kind of miracle, the beautiful parts stayed in. And those are the parts that I focus on. And I ignore the dark and disturbing stuff, frankly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Joe. For real.
Yeah.
All right, let me play this for a second. Oh, there it is. This is gonna get really good.
Image. You are witnessing multiple images simultaneously when looking at the face of the moon. And these images are akin to a type of X-ray photography.
Speed it up a little. Because he's slow. Because he talks. Because Ewar, he's always talked slow, even since high school. He's like that.
There is also evidently a lot of distortion and optical illusion present in these images. No one can offer an explanation as to how this composite image has formed, nor has anyone ever provided a satisfactory answer as to what exactly the moon is.
So nobody knows what the moon is. Nobody has provided an answer.
And rightly so, for if they could, we would not be in this mess in the first place. While most alternative views of the moon's true nature are rooted in nonsensical theories, such as those dreamt up by many deceivers and boys who never grew up, and who like the idea that aliens created the moon and there exist underground bases deep within its craters. There is one man, however, who spoke of the moon in the years leading up to the space race in the 60s, and who offered a very sensible insight. In 1965, Professor R. Foster challenged the corrupt scientific complex by stating that landing on the moon was an impossibility. It is an impossibility, according to Foster, because the moon is plasma and not solid. Here is what he said.
Scientific views expressed all over the world now that the moon seems to be of a quite different nature from what was assumed.
But the Americans and Russians are thinking of landing men on it.
Oh, well, that will never happen. Not on the moon. On Mars, on Venus, and other planets, yes. But the moon.
Yeah, did you see that I used to go to school with Ewar?
Like most that speak out, Foster was most likely controlled opposition. Notice that he says it is possible to land on other planets, but not the moon.
Let me ask you a question, Valley Pox. Have you ever seen Ewar in real life? Do you know what he looks like? Let me see what she says.
It is likely that it was his task to introduce a half-truth that the moon is a plasma phenomenon, only for his claims to be, quote, debunked and proved wrong, unquote, a few years later, after they staged the moon landings. Since Foster's claim, however, our own access to technology in recent years has allowed us to investigate the moon in more detail. And through this, we see over and over again varying instances of the moon behave.
Just so you all know, Ewar was a little, fat, short, stout, chubby kid with a retarded kid with a giant forehead. In my high school class, he sat in the third row, right? In my high school science class.
Oh wow!
And this is what he this is what he looked like. That's a picture of Ewar. I remember him.
Didn't you say you had the same voice too?
You have the same voice as what you hear in the video. Back then, he sounded the same. That's him.
Matt.
He looks kind of alien.
Oh, Stabley's on right now. All right, well, I'll wrap this up then. We'll all go over there because we love Stabley.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna let this play till he's done explaining the moon though. I'm gonna let it play a little while longer.
Well, I want to tell you.
Yeah, what's up?
I'll tell you.
Oh yeah,
Three things that the moon is.
We're gonna go for another hour. We're gonna go for another hour. We got to get through it though. Yeah. Because it gets really good. We're gonna break it down.
You asked what the moon is. There's three things I know it is. It's a perfect timepiece that goes around us every 28 days. It gives off its own light, and damn it.
Yeah. It's cold light. It's cold light, right?
And maybe it helps
Cold light.
people navigate.
Oh, and it goes around us in the sky.
I love that. Keep it simple. Keep it raw.
Now, there's a lot of things what it is not. All right, that's all I had to say.
All right, I'm gonna play this faster so we can all get over. I want to get over to Brian's too. Like, I mean,
All right.
if you want to
Even
go
in a
over to
way that
Brian's, you can,
debunks a lot.
but I'm gonna play this because he's gonna explain it.
Who's Brian? Where's
We
his
see with our own eyes a semi-transparent moon.
We're gonna go over that.
Either at night or while there is still daylight. We see the sky through the moon. Sometimes it is even possible to see stars directly through the moon. Many have repeatedly demonstrated that moonlight is colder than the shade at night, and therefore it cannot be reflected sunlight as it possesses no residual warmth. We also know that spherical objects do not reflect light.
Moonlight is cold and warmer in the shade.
I've done the
At the cause
moonlight
of reflection, the light concentrates into a highlight point and does not reflect. You can also see frequent crescent moons when both the moon and the sun are within close proximity of each other, meaning that it is impossible for the sun to be cast in the Earth's shadow onto the moon. So if the moon is a plasma phenomenon, then how could this be formed in the first place? It is in the appropriation and demonization of the symbol of the swastika that we find some very interesting insights. The existence of a vast amount of historical literature and symbolism suggestive of a vortex opening in the center of our world is too prevalent to be coincidental. We have looked at much of this before, but strangely enough, in the years preceding and during the complete demonization and eradication of the swastika's association with the vortex, we find some additional information regarding this central vortex that is astonishing. In addition to the appropriation of the swastika as their emblem, the Nazis were also obsessed with a very similar symbol, that of the Black Sun. Prior to the rise of the Nazi regime, there existed an occult secret society within Germany called the Soul Society, sometimes alternatively pronounced Thule, that had sub-factions within it. One of these sub-societies, we are told, was the Black Sun Society. Influenced by the Rosicrucians and other Hermetic groups, the Thule Society placed special emphasis on the superiority of an alleged Aryan race with innate mystical powers. The Thule Society derived its name from a mythical northern country in Greek legend. Thule was supposedly a land located furthest north. Others have called it Hyperborea. The Thule Society believed, we are told, that an elder race, the Aryans, colonized our Earth, and they were located within the center of our hollow Earth. Admiral Byrd, the military Antarctic explorer, also made reference to a hollow Earth with an entrance at the North Pole. The Thule Society also believed that the Black Sun was a big ball of primer materia that existed in the center of the Earth and emanated radiation in the form of real energy. This energy has many names. Some have called it chi, astral light, odic forces, or orgone. In 1933, the main architect of the event known as the Holocaust, Heinrich Himmler, acquired Wewelsburg Castle, a wonderful piece of old world infrastructure and technology. He supposedly remodeled the castle, and in doing so imprinted the symbol of the Black Sun into the marble floor of what came to be known as the General's Hall. Much of what has surfaced regarding the German secret societies before and during the Nazi regime is deliberate misinformation, carefully controlled with the sole intention of distraction and demonization. The misinformation regarding these societies has served to further fuel the UFO and alien agenda, which many, such as Jordan Safer, David Wilcock, and Corey Good, have since latched onto and promoted. They are part of a controlled opposition agenda. They are liars. The sole intention of disclosing information regarding German secret societies was to yoke together a ridiculous concept of a superior alien Aryan race existing within our world's northern core, or opening at the center, with maniacal dictatorship that resulted in gruesome genocide. Or in other words, to make them see.
Okay, so Brian's on talking about Tommy right now. I'm gonna stream Brian's stream. I'm gonna go over to Brian's stream from here and stream Brian while he's streaming right now, so we can hear what he's saying.
Okay.
Let me see.
I'm down.
Yeah, why not? He's trying to raise more money for Tommy, saying people are giving him shit about it. He's saying,
No.
Fuck those people.
he's saying that we got Tommy's back no matter what.
They can mind their own business.
Well, no matter what Tommy did, we got his back. That's what he's saying.
But usually when a 20 grand bail is posted, that usually means if you give $2 grand in cash,
sounds good.
You can get out of jail.
I never streamed a live stream.
Dealt with that. That's exactly what that means. So that's why I sent the fundraiser to $3,000, $2,000 to get him out. And he's in Texas. How's he going to get home? He's going to need a ride or a hotel or a plane or something. So that's why I set it for what I did. If anybody has a problem with it, you don't have to donate to it. It's as simple as that. But that's my boy, like my boy, like my main man. So I'm definitely going to do what I can to help and at least use my platform to let people know that the motherfucker is stuck in the Texas jail right now. Okay? So where the situation is at right now, his sister Crystal, who was really cool, was nice enough to visit me just a few weeks ago. Her and Tommy were here. What the situation is, she's trying to get a bail bondsman in Florida that deals with like the Texas bail bondsman. I don't know all these details, but they have to be on some same type of insurance or something. So it's not as easy as you would think. It's just like sending the money to some guy in Texas and getting them out of jail. But that's where it's at right now. As of right now, I will bring up the GoFundMe. And again, anybody that's got a problem with it, I don't care. This is my boy. And Tommy's such a staple of this fucking truth community. He's fucking in jail right now in the stupid ass system. Literally, you can say what you want, but we all know it's over some form of fucking charges that have to do with weed in one way or another. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb.
Tyranny.
So if you would like to help Tommy out, bail money for Tommy Tell the Truth. Already $1,500 raised in about a day. Because that's how fucking awesome you guys are. I set this up last night. Already $1,500 of the 3,000 goal raised.
It really is amazing what
Tommy's sister,
he's saying.
to hear what exactly is going on and how we're going to be able to get him out. I've heard some pessimistic replies today.
We don't agree on nothing. None of us agree on
We're just going to
anything.
see what happens.
But we agree on
Okay. And of course, if we can't get him out, I'll make sure that all the money gets returned to anybody that donated. Okay. So if anybody has a problem, you can fuck yourself. That's my boy, and I'm going to do what I can to help my friend get out. And I would.
Yeah, he needs to get out.
People would do the
That's
same for
pretty
me, and I
quick
know
for 24
Tommy
hours.
absolutely would.
Yeah, we're doing good.
There's the link. Nobody's obligated, but it is GoFundMe bail money for Tommy.
No, not
Tell the
Tommy
Truth.
Truthful.
If you're
Tommy
interested.
Tell the Truth.
Thank you so much,
Tommy
everybody
Tell the Truth.
that already donated to it.
There's two of them.
Yeah, I don't know much about the accident, Belinda. From what I heard, he rolled over a
Put the links
truck,
in the chat right now.
and when the popo arrived, he,
I was in
was
Brian's
riding dirty
chat.
or
I
whatever.
thought I was in my
don't
chat.
know more than that. Probably shouldn't say. I think sometimes Tommy says more on the internet than he should about his business.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be loosey goosey, even if I do know a little more, but I really don't at this point. All I know is he's in a jail in Texas.
He's in Smith County Jail.
The county of the jail is on the video that I made about it. I don't have it handy right now, but yeah. So that's the deal with Tommy. That's what I know. I've been working I've been working a lot. I worked 50 hours this week, and I got called in Sunday. I was going to do a show. I called in closed last night. This all went down. Closed today. So I'm just doing what I can. I don't know more details. I'm in contact with the sister. I got the GoFundMe set up.
There you go.
If you want to help out, go ahead and help out. If you can't, don't feel bad. That's the other thing too. I don't want anybody that loves Tommy but can't help out to feel bad. Like,
Yeah, don't feel bad.
like we all have our own life.
Tommy wouldn't
It's
want you to
cool.
feel bad.
But for the people that want to help out,
Tommy
I am
probably
going
doesn't
to
even
promote
want
it.
Bill.
And I am going to help try
it.
and get Tommy out of jail. Just like we tried to help get Mac out of jail. Just like we tried to help Sandy not get evicted. Just like we tried to help Patrick Robbins when his fucking house burned down. Just like we tried to help Karen when her computer shit the bed, or when my computer shit the bed. Hey, that's what I do every once in a while. If you think that's some form of fucking grifting or whatever, you know what? You can suck my motherfucking dick. How about that? Oh, this guy. He helps people out and tells them to not live in fear and trust their senses. What a fucking bad guy that Stavely guy is. Oh, yeah. Fucking terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Shiva, are you back? I don't see you backstage. Jump up on here anytime you want. So, yeah, it's kind of bothering me. This happens every time somebody I'm close to, like, you know, if somebody gets like arrested and held, like there's always this like stressful time where like you don't know what's going on. And like, even if you got shit rounded up, like how do you get these people out? Like, I'm not going to just fucking leave Tommy in jail in Texas. Are you fucking kidding me? Even for the people that you want to see what one of the comments left on my video was? I'm going to show you guys how fucking scumbaggy people are. Hang on.
We got Brian's chat on the screen. Nice.
Over my YouTube community section.
See. Where is it?
Okay, so I left a post about Tommy is stuck in jail. Anybody that would like to help out towards his bail money, here's the GoFundMe link, right? So if you looked at the picture of Tommy, right? I posted a picture of him and his grandson, right? Because it's a fucking beautiful picture, right? This guy, the anatonism zone, I am not supporting a guy who poses like he is proud of having brought a human into this horrible world. Like, it'd be one thing if he came off with the snarky comment like, hey, I'm not supporting a guy that shit.
That's a troll, I think.
Texas laws. Because I got some of that, right? But I'm not supposed, because he posted a picture with his grandson and you're such a fucking shitbag that you're going to use that to shit on him? I'm not supporting a guy who's proud of having brought a human.
Anybody wants to
he
help.
is proud of having that human brought into this world. This is his fucking grandson. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Baby.
That's what I hate about the truth community. Seriously, dude.
Yeah, it's just
another reason why I'm glad I've been working fucking 50 hours a week.
I mean,
fuck everybody.
Being in jail is kind of worse than being
seriously.
Dead.
The fuck is that
Honestly,
shit, dude?
It's worse than being in jail is worse than dying. Sucks.
The fuck out of here, scumbag. Just go to another channel. I don't need you watching me. Go watch somebody else. You piece of fucking dirt.
Yeah, because then when you're in that situation, then you wish people will help you.
All right,
let's
roll forward to tonight's content. We've talked about Tommy for a while, but I'll say it once again. I don't give a fuck what Tommy did. He didn't do anything, you know. I'm not talking about, you know, raping and killing and shit like that.
No.
Our boy got caught with weed.
Yeah.
You don't want to help out, don't help out. It's totally.
He got in a car accident.
Want to help out?
Common.
If you got a fucking problem with me making people aware of the situation, you can fuck off. That's my boy, and I got his back. Period. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there is to it. Yeah. And we raised $1,500 in a day.
Good job.
To try and get him out. Okay. So that's where we're at right now.
Give yourselves.
Let's talk about more things.
Tommy.
Okay.
We're gonna get him.
I did a show with a guy named Dr. Mulder.
I FOIA requested all the videos, Rock.
Very interesting show. It was cool.
I FOIA requested all the
Dr. Mulder
videos.
has called in a few times to talk about the Mandela effect on the show. And this is all recent. I'm not familiar with this guy like way back in the day or anything. And he's had a few times he's called in or he's coming.
We'll have the videos back within like 10 days.
Show with him and talk about the Mandela effect. What's interesting is we only talked about the Mandela effect for a little bit because we got into a 9/11 thing and COVID and all this. Oh, I'm still on YouTube. I'll try and be careful a little bit, but we're going to go all in tomorrow with the September 11 show on Jesse Howell's channel. But I did a show with Dr. Mulder. The plan was, hey, I'm going to go on your channel. We're going to talk about the Mandela effect for like, 2 hours was the plan. And I go over there, and it was their first live stream ever. So there were some hiccups. But I'm reading their show notes, and in their show notes, it says stuff about like Mandela effect, but then we're going to go to Rumble and this, that, and the other. So I asked them, like, hey, what's going on? And we like dropping YouTube and going, oh, yeah. Well, and needless to say, we did a 7-hour show, 1 hour on the Mandela effect, 6 hours on the fabricated fear porn, the Boston Marathon, the school in Connecticut.
I don't want to cut him off, but I'm getting back to my moon thing before I go. I think he's done talking about Tommy anyway for now. But I'm gonna head over there. But I want to finish this moon shit. But it's glad that we got the Tommy stuff on, because man, it's not like it's just gonna go away on its own. You know, like we got to get him out. Like until we get him out, he's still in there right now. He's in there.
But hey, things are moving. You know.
Oh yeah,
almost got the $2,000 and in 7 days they're gonna drop it. It's going to get lowered, so things are coming along.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Answered prayers.
Seem crazier than they already were. The controllers of our realm had to appropriate the swastika and eradicate its symbolic association with the Earth's central electromagnetic and physical vortex. And while I do not think there exists a black sun underneath us, if the notion of this seems absurd and far-fetched, just remember that the majority of the world's population have already accepted that there is some kind of dark sphere beneath them, acting as a source of our world's electromagnetic energy. Heliocentrism has convinced so many that inside their little blue ball hoax, there exists a spherical core of solid iron at a temperature of over 5,000 degrees. Their own black sun. Interestingly, they never represent this iron core with the metal's usual black or dark grey colour associations in their illustrations, despite telling us it is a crystalline sphere of solid iron. Surrounding the iron solid core is an outer layer of molten iron, and it is because of this hot liquid iron, we are told, that the Earth has a magnetic toroidal field. And millions have accepted this, and these silly diagrams that resemble Satsumas, despite the hard fact that the furthest depth a human has ever drilled into the Earth is a mere 8 miles.
8 miles.
The heliocentric model has to acknowledge an inner core energy source because it is in fact a reality, and our world cannot exist without it. It is likely that the notion of a black sun beneath us is more distraction, although it is not as absurd as the heliocentric Satsuma model. We will return to this later. What is important now, however, is that not only have we another instance of the concept of a black core at the center of our realm, and another reference to a central vortex and opening, but we also have reference to energy, or what the Thule Society called vril, radiating out of this opening. And if this is truly the case, then we have a theoretical model in which both the formation of the sun and moon makes complete sense. What I am going to try and convey now is complex, and I will do my best. But I need you first of all to forget every model of our Earth you have become familiar with. Things may not make sense at first, but by the end it will. Let's start with the realm and the firmament, and then a central opening. And now let's incorporate our known world, as outlined on the moon by Stergio. And finally, let's add the source or electromagnetic coil beneath. Whether a magnetic rock or an electromagnetic coil, the source of our world's magnetic
is how this is the same exact. It lines up with the way that those astrological clocks.
Yeah, the astroclade, that one that was found 2,000 years ago.
No, not the astrolabes, the astrological clocks.
Yes, there's one. They got one that's still in St. Petersburg, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see in a sec. They line up. They're from a long time ago, but they seem to know all this stuff that
because it's clockwork.
Yeah.
Magnetic field is located at the center.
Yeah, go ahead.
On a mega scale, like I was like I said earlier, every 2160 years, that changes, that moves 30 degrees every 2000 years and puts you into another thing. We're going to go from the age of Pisces to Aries, or vice versa, one or the other.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Exactly, John. Exactly.
Center and beneath, and any source of intense electromagnetism would produce strong radiation.
Sometimes if I seem a little spaced out like that, John, it's because I'm reading something and thinking about something and trying to do like 4 things at once.
Okay, no, I want to make sure everybody understands.
No one can say indefinitely, but it is highly likely.
I do a damn good job at running these streams, though.
That the concentrated plasma that we call the moon is a result of a unique form of radiation, similar to X-rays, that emanate from this source via an opening or vortex. X-rays, or very strong radiation beams, would, by the laws of physics, emanate from this central vortex in diverging straight lines.
Yeah.
Like X-rays, they would also be invisible. The divergent beam.
It's almost like a projector, right? Like it could work like a projector, dude.
Yes,
emanating from the black sun.
Hey! You know what I thought?
English dude talks about this.
Go ahead, Joe.
Check this out, you guys. Check out this analogy. Let's say the realm is somehow projected, or parts of it are projected from the North Pole.
Okay.
The center there.
Yeah, the center.
Now remember back in the day when we were in elementary school or middle school, and there was a projector, not a VCR, but a film projector in class, and they would put the projector in the center of the class towards the back, like 2/3 to the back of the class. Are you guys following me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so if you happen to be one of those students that sat near the projector, like towards the back, you would see residual light coming from the projector at you that had nothing to do with the light that was being projected onto the screen that everyone else could see. If you were close,
not the sides and stuff.
I know what you're saying.
If you were close to the projector, coming out the side vents and whatnot, you would have some light on you. Maybe that's what the Aurora Borealis is like, the Northern Lights.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah, maybe, dude. Probably, yeah.
It's a trip.
Yeah, that's a good one, dude. Yeah.
Well, you know what? I believe it's definitely magnetic and plasma. That's what's making the green color, and it also goes red and white.
So yeah, the stars.
Green is the most common color.
It could all be a projection, dude. We can't. It's like a rainbow. We can't go and land on it.
Will continue up until coming into contact with the firmament itself. X-ray beams differ from light beams and do not tend to reflect. X-rays are like a super powerful form of light, and because their wavelengths are shorter than ordinary light's wavelengths, it means their frequency is much higher. Because of this, X-rays can travel through objects that ordinary light cannot, and it means that X-rays are not reflected easily. There are not many materials that reflect, scatter, refract, or redirect X-rays. And while I'm not strictly saying that X-rays are the cause, any form of strong radiation beams would behave similarly. There do exist some materials that can reflect high energy rays, and it was a man named Lawrence Bragg in 1913 that discovered that crystalline structures reflect X-rays. That's right, crystalline structures, a crystalline firmament. Bragg reflection is used, for example, to focus monochromatic light, and there is a device called a monochromator that uses curved crystal mirrors to reflect X-rays to focus monochromatic light.
Nice.
Standard monochromators use a prism to break down the light. This is a very familiar image,
Pink Floyd,
and Wikipedia displays it for everyone to see. It is now associated with an infamous music album. What is the title of that album?
Dark Side of the Moon.
They are telling us. This means we're right
Which
on
is
track.
also a Mandela effect, right?
Radiation beams reflected off of the crystal firmament would likely be redirected down, off-center, and into the ionosphere above our heads. The same.
It's Dark Side of the Moon, but some people remember The Dark Side, or it's vice versa. Which one? I'm not sure, but The Dark Side or Dark Side.
Now it says The Dark Side.
Now it says The Dark Side.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember Dark Side because that's what I was saying.
Same ionosphere in which the ethereal electromagnetic energy was harvested from. It is here that the beams will converge and concentrate and generate the plasma phenomenon we call the moon. The idea of electromagnetic rays reflecting from the firmament and converging in the ionosphere may seem preposterous, but there are many homemade experiments you can conduct yourself to prove the power of concentrating light rays. As seen here, the rays of the sun reflected in the concave mirror are able to produce intense heat and start a fire.
I'm gonna do this
The
tomorrow.
reflected light rays focus into a point to generate energy. And remember, radiation beams, akin to X-rays, are much more powerful than light rays. If the moon is a point of focused, condensed plasma, then it has to occur within one of the layers in the ionosphere above us. All the various inert noble gases in our ionosphere
It's starting to hurt my ears.
Altitude. It looks at how these are charged.
But we're
by the
almost
sun's
done with it.
electromagnetism
We're almost through it.
to form the plasma sky.
Oh, no, we're not. We still got a lot left.
At a certain altitude in the ionosphere, there are two layers of neon
But it gets
and
good,
helium
though.
gas. It is likely that the sun forms in a similar fashion within these layers. After all, helium is linguistically very similar to Helios.
Helios.
It is likely, however, that the moon is formed at the level of altitude in which the gas krypton is present. Krypton is known for its phosphorescent white light. It is also used to create non-thermal or cold plasma.
So, like, people think that Ewar isn't just one person. I heard a theory that people think that it's a group of people because the amount of research that he fits into one little episode is like, it had to be a bunch of people in the work, in the way they put it together and edit it and everything. But I don't know. You know, I can tell you for a fact, though, somebody did contact me on Odyssey and tell me they were Ewar and was talking to me for a while. And I think it is Ewar. And they have a different channel, though, with a different name. And I'm not going to really tell everybody who it is because he doesn't want me to.
As demonstrated by contemporary scientists developing this field today. The primary reason that the moon's light is cold and not hot like the sun's is not known, but it is likely due to a polarity produced by their interaction with our electromagnetic field in the ionosphere, the moon being the dielectric negative polarity to the sun's positive charge.
Sundog.
The craters seen on the moon are likely from the generation of this plasma.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is some kind of plasma emulsion that displays a kind of outgassing or bubbling, much like we see with urethane paint defects.
You see that? Urethane paint defects. It's an outgassing or bubbling. That's what he's saying the craters of the moon are in the plasma. What do you guys think?
Possible.
Anson Howard, what do you think? Weigh in. He's been trying to talk all night and gets cut off.
It's all good, man. It's all good. No, it's like you say. He's done his really thorough research. He's moving through the topic like fast. So I'm just like, trying to keep up. But following what he was saying, it kind of like the chemistry of it, I guess, like it could make sense. I'm not really knowing that much about it, but
all right, I'll explain it to you. It's this channel. It's not his channel. It's not his research. It's a channel called Vibes of Cosmos, right?
Yeah.
And it's called Vibes. If you look it up, it'll come up. They have a lot of subs. They have books and everything, dude. I was at a Flat Earth meetup, and they had someone at the table had the book there at the restaurant, and I was like, oh wow. So people love it. They call it Vibes because they mix like real. They're from Amsterdam, Holland, or somewhere like that, and they mix like really cool music with their stuff, and they have like all these different colors, and people are like, whoa. But there really is research behind it. It's not just a light show and a music show. But you gotta start at the very beginning of their channel and watch it. But the thing is, they don't go through it real fast. They take their time and they break it down and they show you clip by clip. So what Ewar has done here is, whoever Ewar is, they went along and they took all their research because it's really good, and then he put it in a nutshell, as fast as he could, together, and he explains it almost better than they do because they don't really talk on their channel. They just have music and they show you the pictures. So it's you got to figure it out yourself. So he did a lot of work for him to have done this. Like he actually broke it down pretty good. Like, so they're saying that it was some plasma that, you know, froze in the sky like 200,000 years ago, over 200,000 years ago. That's why those continents, the other continents, are visible. Plus, it's a composite image, so you could see if it's an X-ray. You don't see the water. You don't see the, you know, you see just, you know, what's there, the land, I guess. And
but what's giving the moon the actual, like, the actual energy, the glow, though?
the moon has its own light, but I don't know, you know.
Who knows?
Like within his framework.
Well, if it's plasma, it would probably work like a plasma TV, maybe.
Yeah. Yes. It works off the sun. They're like a anode cathode. One charges the other.
Anode
as they go through their cycle.
Yeah, like a battery. Like when the sun's out during the day, it charges the moon. And then when the sun goes out of sight, the moon lights up as
it goes through its cycles, yeah.
Like something that glows in the dark, like one of those, you know, you put those things, like people get the stars for their ceiling that glow in the dark, and you know, you turn the light on.
Beyond that, beyond glowing in the dark, it emits light.
Yeah.
It's not just glowing.
No, but it's bright light. It is bright white light.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying.
But it's not as bright. It's not as bright as the sun, obviously, because the sun doesn't make it look like it's daytime.
No, but it's dimmer. It is emitting it because it travels from there to here. I've actually measured it with a laser.
Yeah.
With a laser pointer, and it was during a full moon, and I forget what it was, how many degrees difference. Yeah. I've done the experiment myself.
Well, nonetheless,
so the moon,
yeah,
that light is definitely cold, and it's being emitted, so it's not just whatever it is. That's it.
It's definitely great research.
Our theories have emerged that we live within one of these craters on the moon. This is not correct.
I don't think that this research can be debunked by like taking a P1000 camera footage of the moon, like a picture of the moon, and actually like just placing continents on it and saying, "Oh, it doesn't fit. Look," like that's not what they did at all.
Are you talking the thing?
Kind of phosphorescent.
What's up? What's up?
Are you talking? Because we've sort of moved topics, haven't we? Because he was talking about the moon map, and now he's talking about the formation, how like the whole thing works, like the electromagnetic system.
Is he? Well, no, that's what he's talking about, right? Yeah, I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, well, on the thing.
Well,
yeah.
no, well he was asking how the moon would light up on its own. You know, like how it has its own light. It has cold light.
Right.
So that's why he brought it up. Yeah, we are getting a little off topic. I know we got to try to keep it on topic. Like it's tough to keep.
Well, no, I don't know. It's like it's like he's talking about like quite like profound things of like, but you know, of what the.
Oh,
what
have
the
you
moon
ever?
actually is.
But have you ever heard? Have you ever heard that what he's talking about? Like electrostatics, like the electro. What do they call it? Electromagnetic Earth or something. Electric Earth. It's a theory that the Earth is a battery. So it's like the water is the salt water is like the battery acid, right? And the sun is like the positive, and the moon is like the negative, and that's why the light is different. You know, the sun's light and the moonlight, it's like opposite. You know,
so it's a bit like looking at the realm from a chemistry point of view, then, like understanding it from that perspective.
Yeah, it is like scientific almost. Yeah, and the guy one of the guys that came up with it, I think he admits he's a scientist. But you know, I don't follow it too far, but you can tell I've researched it. You know, but. You know, it's just a theory. It's just like I think it's just as good as anyone else's theory. You know,
yeah,
I don't like to shit on people's theories. Like, I'm not gonna come on and try to debunk someone's theory with the P1000 picture of the moon and pictures of the regular land masses and not turn it upside down and not do my research on on what the thing is, and then like make a video about it.
Concentrated plasma and not a solid object. You can see the formation of this plasma and its craters right here. It is not solid, it is a light. And this is great because we have a very realistic and working model as to how the moon is formed.
Thank you.
What we don't have, however,
I thought I was.
is an explanation as to how the composite image on its face is formed. As I said before, the image we are seeing on the moon is akin to a composite X-ray photograph
X-ray,
of our
composite.
greater realm.
Composite.
And it is not an active reflection.
So that's what he's trying to say. It's a composite. It's not an active reflection of right now. The moon is not a reflection of today. What's going on? Like you're looking up and it's reflecting. It's a composite, which is an X-ray. A composite is an X-ray. An X-ray that was taken over 200,000 years ago and froze up there. You get it?
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I'm just explaining it.
But
Right on.
rather a historical moment captured in time. And of course, no one knows how it is formed other than those in higher places. The moon is a paradoxical phenomenon, at once a volatile luminary of plasma that waxes and wanes in its luminosity, and also a steadfast image captured at some point in time that does not seem to change. We only ever see this image on the moon, and it never changes. This strange and mysterious image that has puzzled and inspired millions could be a result of a natural, organic phenomenon, or perhaps even artificial. Again, only the controllers know. The word photo originates from the Greek photos. It means light. Hence we have words such as photosynthesis, which means the synthesis of light, in which plants harvest light energy and convert it into chemical energy. A photon is the quantum of the electromagnetic field, including electromagnetic radiation, such as light. A huge misconception is the notion that photographic imaging is not a natural, organic phenomenon. This is not correct. The word photograph means light drawing. The concept of natural light-sensitive material is well understood. Our bodies begin to darken when exposed to too much sunlight. Depending on the exposure to the UV, our bodies can develop tan lines. The light literally draws on us. Certain textures and textiles can fade or come to the surface when exposed to light. And there exist natural camera obscuras. A natural camera obscura occurs when a darkened space with a hole permits light rays to enter from outside the space, resulting in a projected image of the space outside inside the darkened area. We can even see projected images of a solar eclipse here on the ground underneath a leaf canopy due to the holes in the leaves. Natural camera obscura was, of course, the inspiration for the early development of photographic technology.
Nice.
Interestingly,
That's like
the noble
the first
gas
camera.
krypton, the same gas present in our ionosphere,
Krypton,
has
like
been
kryptonite.
used for years, we are told, as an integral component
Superman.
in camera flashes for high-speed photography. It is also an essential component in hyperpolarized MRI scanners. There is also a possibility that the face of the moon is not a natural phenomenon, but was a result of an experiment. Photographic
An
and
experiment,
X-ray
that's what some
films
people
are
think.
created for a fusion of a gelatin emulsion with microscopic silver crystals. Because of this, exposure to light is able to capture an invisible latent image. During light exposure, the silver halide crystals grow to visible sizes, and this is what is called printing out the image. Microscopic silver was essential in producing traditional photographic images. Without it, the technology would not have been possible in the first place. Interestingly, in their alignment of noble metals with astronomical bodies, the alchemists designated the moon as having rulership over the metal silver. The birth of modern photography began in 1800, we are told, when the uncle of Charles Darwin tried to capture the image produced in a camera obscura. He discovered that by coating white leather with silver nitrate, he was able to partially capture real-life images. The use of silver nitrate was developed further by Louis Daguerre, who went on to birth the daguerreotype and modern photography. But what is interesting is that silver nitrate goes by another name. They called it lunar caustic, in homage to the alchemists' association between the moon and silver. It's also quite interesting that many Masonic representations of the alchemists depict the sun and moon as reflected rays. And what are the coincidences that the alchemists, who probably didn't exist in the manner we are told they did, associated the moon with the very metal in which traditional photography is impossible without? This is not a coincidence. Those of the old world knew what the moon was, and perhaps an older civilization that came before them and that were also technologically advanced had a hand in rendering the image on the moon. It's not that much of a preposterous notion, considering that we are continually experimenting with things on a cosmological scale today, staging fake rocket launches that sometimes get caught on the firmament, developing artificial suns, and some demons in higher places are even trying to find ways to dim the sun. Humans have always overstretched their ambitions when it comes to the luminaries, and I don't see why advanced civilizations of the past would have been any different. But how this composite image phenomenon came to be is not important for our journey. It's what it shows us that is important. And perhaps it is best to leave the moon shrouded in mystery. Whether a natural or artificial X-ray photographic image, what is important is its composite nature. The image we witness here is a combination of at least two fixed images that are superimposed upon one another. The first image we are seeing, as Stergios' groundbreaking work has shown over and over again, is a skeletal outline of our realm's land masses, akin to an X-ray, and in a way we have never seen before. In this image, we see all the continents of land we associate with Earth, or what is more appropriately termed the known world, represented by the dark areas in the image. And we also see vast bodies of land and continents that we are completely unfamiliar with. Stergios revealed that if you treat the moon as the mirror image it is, and flip its image like you would with any reflection, then you can start to map our known land masses with utmost precision. And this is exactly what Stergios has done, mapping the known world captured in the moon down to its Great Lakes and deserts. The striking similarities between our known world landmass and that captured on the moon are far too exact for it to be any kind of coincidence.
And throw it at a map. He figured
it has been right in front of our faces every single day, literally. It is likely that no one has connected the dots here before because of this particular unknown landmass.
It took a long time too. It was like years and years and years of research. He kept putting up like little by little.
Which Stergios has appropriately named Lemuria. And this landmass is very important because we know that it does not exist anymore. Theories of Lemuria's existence as a lost continent have been around since the 19th century.
That's why we covered Lemuria last night.
Its location somewhere around the Indian Ocean. Those in the 19th century also spoke of another lost continent.
We covered Mu last night.
They are one and the same thing.
If you didn't
Old
see
maps of Mu
go back and watch last
exactly
night.
where it is on the moon. And in 2007, Masaki Kimura discovered huge structures, including pyramids, castles, and roads on the ocean floor, some way from Japan. A location very...
I mean, how could you say the mud flood isn't real and they got shit like this, like under the water? Like
similar
to
where
it's still flooded right now.
Lemuria is plotted here on the moon. The continent
it's not
sunk
like
years and years ago.
Yeah, the continents, but they sunk, but it's not like someone went under the water and built those pyramids under the water.
And this is very useful because it means that this image is not an active reflection, but a moment captured in time before the continent sunk. The second image we are simultaneously witnessing in our moon is that of the firmament itself.
Yeah, right.
It was prior to the flood.
The moon is the...
Yeah, go ahead.
And then, you know, like maybe it's a picture of the pre-flood, and then the flood came, and those lands are covered now or something.
I think the reason why they're trying to cover the mud flood up is because it proves that God is real. Because if the Noah's flood is real, then the Bible must be real, or parts of it. And then, God is real. You see how it correlates? And it's the same thing with the fake in space. It's like they're trying to put time in space.
Yeah, so it's not a reflection of the present day Earth. It's a snapshot before the flood.
Yes. Thank you. You got it, dude. I'm happy. If at least one person understands what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you all understand, but he got it. I can tell it clicked. Thank you. Now you'll see it. Now you'll start to see it on your own. You'll start to research it, and thank God. That's all I'm trying to do is plant the seed. I've been researching this shit for a long time, and it breaks my heart to see people say that there's nothing to this. Like, I've seen people in the community, like other communities, flat earthers and stuff like that. Because you know why? A lot of flat earthers don't like this theory. Do you know why? Because it was the mud flood people that came up with this, not the flat earthers. So they're like, it's not our theory, fuck it. But really, there's a lot of research behind it, and I don't know.
Yeah, they don't go further. They just like to stick with the flat earth, and now we don't need no more truth. We got the flat earth.
Well, no, I'm a flat earther too, and I love it. But
yeah, I'm a flat earther too. But I keep looking for more shit.
It's almost like this, Rock. It's almost like they want to keep the people in their community. They don't want them to go out looking at different things. And that sucks, right? Because you should be able to look at whatever you want. Like Brian's on tonight. If you want to go look at Mandela Effect, go over there. I'm not even mad about it. I'm not mad at, I would like it. Go watch it. Or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like, Brian doesn't care either. That's why
God forbid you mention, to some people, you mention Jesus and God.
Yeah.
In the flat earth communities, they'll freak out. Oh, we don't need Jesus and God in this.
Yeah. That too. And like sometimes they'll admit that they're like there was a creator.
Yeah.
But they won't admit who it was.
Yeah.
Or, we were created. But
they'll believe any narrative. It's like they'll believe any narrative about the creator, but not the Bible.
Or they'll say the creator, but they'll never say Jesus.
Yeah.
The only known official image of our firmament. The face of the moon is a composite image, and we have to separate the images to fully understand what we are seeing. We have the landmass of the greater realm, and this is one image from one angle. And then we have another image from a different angle. I can only illustrate this by showing you. This specific area of the moon is primarily what gives the phenomenon its spherical 3D appearance. The heliocentric liars love this area of the moon, and they have used it as a weapon of deceit against us. It is not a crater with rays, like they tell us. Look closer. Really look. This is not the markings of a spherical object. It is the apex of the domed firmament from within the dome. Watch closely. This is the composite image on the moon, presenting both images simultaneously. And this is an interior of a hemisphere.
I love the Mandela Effect too.
And now, you see, if you were...
The Mandela Effect is what brought me here. Like, in the community, I started out with the Mandela Effect with Brian years and years and years ago. So, I love the Mandela Effect. I don't know. I just don't do a lot of shows on it because Brian already covers it. So, I'm not trying to jump on his bandwagon.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
Flat Earth, and then
he does a great job.
Mandela Effect, and then it gets tiring. The same thing over and over. Sometimes I want to research new stuff.
Plus they're already covering it like crazy. So I don't feel like I got to do the work. He's already doing all that work. So.
Yeah, he's got his own ministry, man. He's got enlighten people of what's going on in our reality changing.
But I mean, I do shows on Mandela Effect sometimes. Like when I found like the Easter Sunday that Easter Monday that I saw recently.
Line the central apex point of an interior hemisphere dome, then it becomes quite obvious. If you erase the remaining vector lines of the dome, then it becomes really obvious. And once you see it, it becomes very hard to unsee. It isn't a sphere. That is an optical illusion. It is the markings of a hemisphere dome.
Yeah.
And not only is this the interior,
and you know what else? It's like sometimes I get in these different moods.
It is also a reflection of
like Creekberry. If you notice, like, well, I don't know if you noticed, but like some nights I do like mud flood shows, and I'm like, I want to look at mud flood stuff. Sometimes I want to look at space. Sometimes I want to look at Mandela. You know, it's like tonight I felt like looking at the moon map.
Yeah,
the center of our realm.
Trying to figure out what those lines are. You know, because they kind of.
I know. It almost looks like, to me, it almost like when you look at it from a camera, like a P1000, it looks like a shell, like like a balloon or like an egg. You know, like it would be hollow sometimes. You know, it's a trip.
Ray, we can't forget about the lunar wave.
Oh yeah, Crow 777's lunar wave, right? He did it, right?
It's real. It's real.
It's real. I know. I don't know what it is. What did they say it was? Did they ever conclude on that?
Who knows? But
nobody knows what it is. Still, no, nobody figured anything out on that. Nancy, what's the latest on the lunar wave? Okay, let me press play.
This area of the moon lends its spherical shape because of the so-called rays that emanate from it.
You know what's really funny
as you
about
can see, it is an optical illusion.
That cracks
the
me
rays
up
are
the
actually.
most. It's like it's 4 a.m, right now, and my whole family's right there sleeping, like the kids and everything. They're like, Nancy.
The hemispherical ribs stemming from the dome's crown. This area in the middle of these ribs is not a crater. That is the vortex directly beneath the highest point of the dome.
You guys don't know how I amuse myself.
The controllers have named this area Tycho.
If I didn't tell you guys that, you would never know that my family's like sleeping right over there and I'm yelling. Like I would just be like, why is he laughing?
It was given this name, we are told, by Jesuit astronomer Giovanni Riccioli in 1651.
Fucking Jesuits.
If it was not for Tycho, then the controllers of our realm would have a very hard time convincing millions that they lived on a giant spinning ball. And like with everything else, they have used Tycho to hide things in plain sight. For instance, another 17th century Masonic astronomer named Pierre Gassendi called it Umbilicus Lunaris, the navel of the moon, which is interesting as Norse mythology uses the same simile of the navel to describe Vergelmir, the whirlpool in the center of our realm. Arthur C. Clarke's Space Odyssey, one of the most famous science fiction novels of all time, features a crater on the moon named Tycho. In the novel, scientists find that there is a strong magnetic field emanating from the crater and discover that it is coming from a black cube monolith.
Okay. Yeah.
Buried 15 meters within the crater, a black monolith, a rupes nigra, a magnetic black rock. Images.
My nickname was the Rupus Nigra in high school.
A black Nigra.
Clearly how they are in fact 2 images of 2 different angles that somehow have ended up superimposed on each other. We do not see any oceans or water mass captured in the first image, which suggests there is some kind of X-ray radiation at play. We don't see the vortex at the center in the first image for this reason. And again, no one knows how these images were formed. But if some kind of radiation beams were responsible, then the first image, the land masses of our greater realm, were most likely captured as the rays hit the firmament. And as those rays were reflected into our ionosphere and began forming the plasma mass we call the moon, it is likely that the second image was captured. And that is the image of the firmament, of the structure existing above us. And that's why we can see the outline of this structure, the stars beyond this structure, and the reflection of the vortex and other great deeps below. The moon is a masterpiece of distorted perspective, a plasma embodiment of as above, so below. And it's going to take a lot of work and careful consideration in smoothing out this distortion to try and get somewhere close enough to create a proper map of the world we live in. And because the moon is a disk-like mass of plasma, the first image of the land presents some curvilinear distortion. And you can see it here at the edges as the land begins to warp and wrap slightly. A lot of serious work needs to go into creating a flat projection of this distortion. But it shouldn't be too difficult because the distortion is only slight around these edges. And that's why Stergios can map the circle of latitude, seasons, and time zones very accurately. A map without a distortion may look something like this. But important questions remain. If the central vortex is absent from the land image on the moon, then why has Stergios plotted the land we assume is Hyperborea over here, which is not in the center? And what about all this other land? The sun and moon cannot journey above all of this land, as it would take more than 24 hours to circle all of this, and we know the paths of the sun and moon. And the big one, the one you've been desperate to ask about since uncovering the only map we have. Where is the ice wall that you flat earthers constantly bang on about? Let's start with Hyperborea. And here's where many flat earthers may experience cognitive dissonance. Although Stergios has plotted Hyperborea here, there is no proof that this is the true Hyperborea. There are a lot of different land masses in this region,
All right, that's what I was looking
and we
for
cannot
earlier.
be sure.
Let me pause it right here.
It pains me to...
Oops. Damn, I lost it. That sucks. I X'd out of it. All right. Well, what he was showing was that ring was like where they say the ice wall was. Well, I'm gonna get out of here because I want to go over to Brian's, and also because it's getting late and I gotta do something tomorrow. So, but I think I covered it. I think I pretty much explained it. I think all you guys get it. Do you want to give some final thoughts on your final thoughts, Anson Howard, since you finally get a chance to talk? Because you're not getting.
That was really, really interesting, and I'm glad I jumped on this particular stream because this guy's given me like the full breakdown of the whole theory in like this concise way. So it's got something to think about now.
That one is called The Lost History of Flat Earth 1-7. There's so many of them. But look into it. It's on Odyssey.
Really good introduction to a new perspective, man.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. Like, I'm not saying 100% that the moon's a map.
Well, nothing's 100%, man.
But it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
And it's I don't think we should just brush it off. But yeah, and we're gonna go over to Brian Dose of Reality. I'll put his link in for people that don't know, because we are a Mudflood channel, and he covers Mandela Effect and I cover Mudflood. So some of you might not even know about him. So let me see. He's my friend. He's a good guy, and we're gonna send everybody over there.
Hey, you guys! Before you go, look at one of Ray's shirts that he has in his merchandise.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Antarctica.
I'll bring it up. I'm gonna post Brian's stream.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for showing up, guys. I had a good time. Thanks for your input.
Well, if you're doing final thoughts,
this is Brian's stream.
Okay.
Oops, sorry. Bad one. Sorry. Yikes. I posted it in Brian's chat by accident. Sorry. All right. Tell Brian I sent you. Yeah, it's an echo.
Good night, guys.
Doesn't matter. We're out of here. Thank you, Joe, for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, Joe, put your link in. Get subs.
Thank you.
Before you go, I think.
Let me find it.
That the moon might have double exposures on it. Like the place that's missing. I mean, the part of the big part almost looks like Finland. The part that you think
you can see Finland on there? Yeah.
Yeah, the part that's not in the circle. It looks almost like
if you go Finland. on Vibes of Cosmos, the channel here, I'll put that link in too. Because they're the ones doing this research, and they come up with new stuff all the time. It's not like they stop. It's like it's ongoing, and it's been going on for years. And it's a lot of research, but you might be able to find that little piece on there that you're talking about, and you know what I mean. And figure it out. If that is Finland, because that would be a trip if you were right. If you go and look and like, oh,
yeah, the part that they say that is
but you guys can look into
outside the
this
circle almost looks like a big Finland.
I know what you're saying.
Maybe it's double exposure or something. And then there's more than one of those circles with lines coming out of it.
That's the channel right there that does this research. If you guys want to look into this research further, it's the links in the chat. There's Joe Martinez. Yeah. Sub him.
Looks like we got 20 people in the chat.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah, 15.
Bye, Rock.
But I'm gonna take off because it's getting early. It's like 4
You got Ray?
Yeah, we have like 15. It's telling me.
Thanks again, Ray. We'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over to Brian's. All right, man. Play a song and get out of here. What do we got? Okay. Thank you guys for showing up.
What is that supposed to be? You made my mind freeze, and time stands still. No more going down the path, can't climb that hill. That's why I wrote this little rhyme that will cut you like a knife till you find that pill. I was still in the days, for many days, within the maze of this pretty dame who I've been engaged for 5 years, 4 months, and 20 days. Was until I came back that you went away. Cause when I came back, I brought so many pains. You call me sick, but you and I know I'm plenty sane. I was driving hella high down the highway to heaven. My life was like a skyscraper on 9/11. Been gifted a Rolex, no time like the present. About to win this whole pop with an up to 7. Yeah, 7 soft shit, motherfucker. I get so oblivious, so insidious. I get so vindictive. Use an idiot, running with little kids, playing cowboys and Indians. You said you'd be my friend until the end, but in the end you just jumped ship. So take all the product that I bought you and rub it on your tits. I'm out of pocket like an alcoholic, having withdrawal fits. All bets are off, let it off my chest. Don't test my offense, I'd be better off if I let her on. But I'm never soft, cause my leather's strong. And if the weather's hot, then my sweater's off. And if my cheddar's off, I'ma set it up. Yeah, bitch, I'ma fucking set it off. Cause I drop it like it's hot, then I rock the house. I speak tongue in cheek, you talk cock and mouth. Smoke so much weed, I got cotton mouth. Blood through so much speed, I'ma have to cop an ounce. Finish on the floor, but we fell off the couch, over the counter and off the shelf. We gon' make it rain to stop the drought. I get so oblivious, so insidious. I get so vindictive. Use an idiot, running with little kids, playing cowboys and Indians. You said you'd be my friend until the end, but in the end you just jumped ship. So take all the product that I bought you and rub it on your tits. No, there he goes again. He's so oblivious, so impervious to the fact that he's only scribbling riddles in the middle of Leviticus. To these chickies twittering, say hello to my little friend drizzling. Like a Vietnam movie, you drop the bomb on me every time you pass the bong to me. It just dawned on me, what an anomaly. Our astronomy, it's a comedy, and synonymously it's a tragedy. And it's so sad to me to see your reaction, bending over backwards just to get back that attraction. I'd be happy with that, but take a stab at the fraction. You was my soon to be, now on the chest your has been. You took advantage, I took you for granted. You could never fathom how bad I've been damaged. I get so oblivious, so insidious. I get so vindictive. Use an idiot, running with little kids, playing cowboys and Indians. You said you'd be my friend until the end, but in the end you just jumped ship. So take all the product that I bought you and rub it on your tits. Eating chicken and waffles with this bitch who was awful, man. Yeah, not a good time. Chopping the potato and off a Rebecca Osco in this nacho line. I was eating steak pancakes when I made a mistake, and I had to swallow my pride. I put my foot in my mouth and started hoofing it out to make up for that lost time. Now I'm making up for it. Better than ever. Catch you on the flip side.